Our friends at Michelob Ultra. Well, Travis Sliwa right here, right now, live and local to get you ready. Mason and Andy Kamenetsky at 1 p.m., and they walk you up to coverage. The Toyota Lakers countdown to tip-off at 3 p.m. with Sliwa. Tip-off at 4:30. From Memphis, Game 2, Lakers Grizzlies. Lakers have a 1-0 series lead. Let's get that next one today, boys. We gonna get you set all day long right here. Your Lakers playoff station, 710 ESPN. Let's get it rolling. Travis and Sliwa, your Wednesday right now.
Yeah. All day Sliwa. I know you're playoff Sliwa, but you're all day Sliwa today. You're starting us right now at 10 o'clock. You're back at 3 o'clock?
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
That's a quick little turnaround.
Quick little breather. Go
hour
from
and
there.
a half a pre.
Yeah.
You got your half. And first and third still too?
First and third.
First and third
is going to be involved.
Look, Lakers win tonight. You should probably throw up a 3-hour postgame show.
Okay, here's what I was going to say.
Knock it out.
When we started doing evenings.
Yeah.
What do you think? Call you around 8 o'clock, Lakers win the game. Let's do a show from 8 to 10 tonight. Let's keep this thing rolling.
You should. I feel like that's your territory. I would feel very self-conscious, kind of coming into your. It's like sleeping in your bed.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like could I? Sure, but I just feel like it's.
You already said the hotel. You're not sharing a room with anybody ever again. So
50 years old. I'm done. with
that's
that.
it.
I could share a room, but you're first of all we're getting a suite. You're on the couch in the other room. Maybe you can get a rollaway, but the bed is mine. That's how that's going to work. How you feeling, Al?
As long as I'm saving a couple dollars, I'm in. If I could save, what are we saving here? $60?
Yeah, you get to roll away. I mean, I'll charge you 20% of the room rate to sleep on the rollaway in the bathroom.
Speaking of saving some money, sent the email yesterday. No, 2 days ago. To Ted Christie at Spirit.com.
And?
His response? No response.
Go online.
No
nothing?
response.
Hit him again.
Crickets.
Hit him again. I wonder if that's like a real account or whether just...
So I thought about it, too. I'm like, all right, come on.
No harm in sending it.
Yeah, but I looked at Spirit is the kind of tag for all of them.
Yeah.
And I didn't get any bounce back, which, trust me, very accustomed to being creative with emails back in the sales days. You're like trying to find the right person.
Right.
Ted Christie at Spirit, Ted.Christie. We're going through all of them to figure out which one. This one, there's no bounce back. I just don't know if I was on priority list number one for saving my $85. It's not over. It just kind of started.
They're probably in a meeting to find a way to squeeze $85 out of somebody else. I think that's the whole business.
They have it down. they have it down to a T.
What if instead of $4 for that water, we made it $6? There's a big meeting coming up.
Yeah, where are they going? They can't go anywhere else. They're in the air.
Yeah, exactly. We got them. It's like after a natural disaster, price gouging, right? We'll get them. $12 for that banana.
Well, here's the worst. The worst part is when they're coming down the aisle. They're not telling you. You're just accustomed to other flight services, and you're just thinking, yeah, I'll take a water. I'll take a Diet Coke. I'll take this, whatever it is.
Only at the Harrah's Resort are you having a Diet Coke.
Only at the Harrah's Resort. They didn't say anything this time around, so they're just handing out waters left and right, and then asking, that will be cash or credit, and then the waters are all going back. We're passing the waters back to them.
Wait, what? No. Here, you take it back.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm thirsty, but I'll wait 3 hours.
All right, so yesterday at 10:30, we announced that the 710 Mandy Awards, the second version, Mandy Awards Part 2, went on sale. We basically sold all of them before our show had even ended. Here we are. We were trying to get every ticket sold 24 hours later. Well, we have 25 minutes before that 24-hour ticker expires.
Yeah.
We have 25 tickets left. Okay, they are Tier 2 tickets. They are $25 a piece. And you go to or ESPN. Hold on, I should probably get this right. Let me see. I have it written down here. ESPNLA.com. ESPNLA.com is where you go.
Click the Mandy's tab.
Click on the Mandy's tab. Look for the green seats that are available in Tier 2 and buy your ticket today because we got 25 left. So I think everybody understands what that means. There's not a lot of time. If you go, I will give you my personal guarantee that you will have a great time. You will have a great time.
Can they chug with you?
You got to get there
early.
Because
the problem is
late,
now that's 25 chugs on top of the other 14 that you've promised.
I think I did 3 last year. 3-0, just saying, including the Arcadia firefighters that I dusted.
Lewis in Arcadia.
That's right. Took Lewis out among a couple of others. So I can't do like 30 of these things. But if you find me, we'll do a little group event, perhaps. A little, I'll you guys can do some prelims, and I'll take on the champ. The champ only fights the number one contender.
I got a question. When it comes to, and just like Trav said, there's only literally a few seats left. We'd love to have, obviously, everybody out there. We know this thing's going to sell out probably in the next half hour or so, but go on there and go buy those last remaining tickets.
And there's an incentive, too, Al.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah. So we have been told that we will get Pizza Hut if we sell out the rest of the tickets.
Well, that's like all of us.
That's what I'm
The
saying.
Trav
Like,
and Slee show.
Like even though I went like this,
Yeah.
we will get Pizza Hut if we sell out the rest of the tickets. So, I mean, just really more for us to have a proper lunch. We're here till 1 o'clock, right? I have a busy day today.
I'm leaving.
I can't.
A cot?
I can't
know
leave.
You're an REI guy. You bought that cot from REI. You should put it in your back.
Everything's
studio.
going on Morales' desk.
Well, there's a pillow in my office left from Morales that even before I got here. So there's a pillow in my closet.
Yep.
You should probably throw that away. I'm just saying that feels like something that should be tossed,
I don't see it.
incinerated, and just completely.
Why is Emily putting gloves on when she goes into her office?
Should be off of the earth. Let's just get rid of that.
Just a
thing.
pillow, Trav.
Well, I mean, it's just better safe than sorry, right? Is that the expression?
Basically this. We're just trying to eat lunch. So if you can just buy out those remaining 25, then we get Pizza Hut.
Get me some floor pizza ready to go, What else you can do at ESPNLA.com is you can vote for Travis and Sliwa for all the categories. We have Producer of the Year, Associate Producer of the Year, Host of the Year, Personality of the Year, all these things that you can get us voted for. I also would if my only Mandy I ever receive is for Bid of the Year for when UVA lost when we were at Yamava, I think I'd be proud. At least that loss would mean something.
It's in the running. It was an iconic moment on our show on the station. But here, look, right? We're in this together, all four of us. We want Show of the Year the most, right? Because that's for the four of us. If any one of us individually wins, that's great too. And I'm going to be happy for any of the three of you. More happy if it's me. But if it happens for anybody on the show, that is a great win for us. But Show of the Year, Travis and Sliwa. Man of the Year, Host of the Year, Funniest, Bid of the Year, whatever it is.
Whole
just
thing.
Go right down the ballot,
we'll take
all of
it.
it, Trav and Sliwa. And I'm putting together my staff to try and do a social media campaign for our programs. So I'm taking this seriously. We're gonna do a push.
Will you get a TikTok?
I have I mean.
If that's what it takes.
Not saying no, right? It wasn't
Yeah.
a hard no right out of the gate. So we'll see. I have somebody, a computer science expert that I want to juice our social media presence that I'm currently in negotiations with. So we'll see how it all breaks.
Is that part of our budget, or is that?
The budget is, will you please do it? That's the budget that I've got. I don't have anything to give you. I chug a beer with you. You can go play golf together. I'll buy somebody around the golf if they want to do it.
Invite them over to your
tacos.
house.
Take it easy. Take it easy. We don't need to get crazy about all of this. But yeah, 25 tickets left for the Mandy's. Obviously coming up in June. We want to sell these last 25 in the next 21 minutes. So go to ESPNLA.com. There are still tier 2 tickets available. They're just $25 a piece, and you will have a fantastic time. We got Dodger baseball coming up here in just about 2 hours from right now, and thankfully they just put out the lineup slate. We'll get to this a little bit after we do the Lakers. But Mookie is not going to play shortstop today. There's a lot of speculation yesterday that, hey, on Wednesday afternoon, Mookie
Not a bad
short.
third stringer.
What a terrible. Hopefully somebody sobered up and said, we
By the
weren't really
way,
doing that, right?
by
We're
the
not
way,
doing that.
This is Mookie that's pushing for all this.
I know. That's part of why I dislike it
Mookie
as
was
much.
We
pushing
need
for
an adult
second,
in the room that says
and
we
now
can't all have
Mookie is
candy.
pushing for shortstop.
Everybody needs somebody to say no. Everybody. I don't care who it is. You need somebody in your life going, that's a bad idea. No, we're not going to do that. So somebody did that today. We'll get into that. But, of course, like the reason that you're going to be setting up shop here from now until, let's see, game, it'd be out of here 9 something?
We'll be here for a little bit.
So 9 or
Here for a
so.
little bit.
Lakers and Grizz game 2. And Sleep, you mentioned it on Monday. We mentioned it a little bit yesterday. The Lakers are in a great position. Not only did they grab home court away from Memphis with the Game 1 win, Unfortunately for basketball fans and specifically for Grizzlies fans, Ja is injured and probably will not go tonight. And even if he does go, he'll probably be limited in some capacity. The Lakers have a real chance to I don't want to say choke this thing out after 2 games because it's the NBA and weird stuff happens. But if they win tonight, they've got this thing in an incredibly advantageous position. And you said it. I don't see how they lose 4 games. And I started thinking about it, and I think you're onto something. There are not a million different ways for the Lakers to lose a bunch of games going forward. And I think really the only one, and we can talk about it now, we can talk about it a little bit on the other side, is a tight end-of-game situation where they go nuts again. That seems to be their real Achilles heel is tight game, 1 possession. Do you execute properly? That's something we still have not seen from them.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because going into tonight's game, this is probably the most dangerous one because you got your 1. Mm-hmm. Do you take your foot off the gas a little bit? Do you – I don't know what version of Ja Morant if he does play, but we're just all assuming
you think he's going to play? I don't. I haven't seen one thing that's kind of hinting like, well, we'll see. It's all like, nah, I don't think so.
Put it this way. If he plays, he's what percentage of himself? Okay, let's say he doesn't play.
It's his right hand, too, right?
It's his right hand.
Yeah.
And we're talking about somebody, forget the shooting, forget getting to the basket and trying to finish. How about just dribbling the ball when you have Jared Vanderbilt on you, picking you up from 90 feet? Mm-hmm. Of course, that would change a little bit. Late game situation, if they're in a situation, let's say tonight, where it's a 2-point, 4-point game going into the end, the one thing I will say, if I want to give them some credit for, they've played so many tight games over the last 2 weeks, and almost all of those had turned up their way. I'm not telling you it's perfect basketball, but Minnesota was close. AD got a foul there in the corner. They end up winning in overtime.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Utah was close. Phoenix was close. Memphis, it was a 1-point game with 3 minutes left to go. So they've had at least some practice here over the last couple of weeks to see what they can do.
All right, let's talk about that and whether or not that is the path for Memphis, and that is the one thing that the Lakers need to be wary of. That's coming up next. Plus, don't forget, 10:45, Ask Taylor is in the hot seat today. So if you got a question for our resident musician / Kings fan.
Yeah, there's going to be like 39 Kings questions.
I think there'll probably be a few.
I'm here for it.
There'll probably be a few. Ask Taylor coming up at 10:45. You can send those at Travis Rogers, at Alan Sliwa. That is all coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 7.
This week on 710 ESPN.
It is time. Last year was our inaugural version of the 710 Mandy Awards. We've got our second one coming up. When is it, boss Amanda Brown?
The date for the second annual 710 Mandy Awards is Saturday, June 10th at the Commerce Casino.
All right. Look at that. We're going to Commerce. Last year we went to Montebello. Now we're going to Commerce. Going to be a party, and we're doing it on a Saturday.
I like it.
For people like you and Shidano that went, oh, Friday night's too tough.
I don't think I said that, but okay.
The second annual 710 Mandy Awards.
Welcome, 710 Mandy Awards.
Saturday, June 10th at the Commerce Casino.
But the host of the year goes to the Love Bug, Scott Kaplan.
Tickets go on sale this Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. on ESPNLA.com.
forget, we got an Ask Taylor coming up at 10:45. So if you've got a question for him, at Travis Rogers, at Alan Sliwa. Of course, you can call as well, 877-710-ESPN. I'm sure he will answer all of your Kings questions that you may have, maybe a music question or so. But, you know, Taylor, you've always said that you'll tell anybody anything, but they got to ask you the right question.
You just got to ask, yeah.
Right? But it's not
the right
just ask. You need the right question, too, right?
I guess, to get me talking on a certain subject.
Yeah.
You know, ask me about my mustache. You know, I'm an expert on that.
So are you
some irritation there, itching at all?
Oh, yeah, every day.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody does this.
So what do we, like, a week in, 2 weeks in?
About a week and a half, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're almost to the other side to where it's not going to bother you anymore.
Yeah, what do you think? Takes like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Once it start looking good.
Well, that may be longer than 2 weeks. That
Might be a year and a half.
Okay.
I'm
in for the long haul.
It's a look. Like, it's a very specific sort of vibe that you're shooting out there with that thing right now. I'm just saying that it's not.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you, Travis.
Well, it's neither a compliment nor an insult. It's just kind
an
of
observation.
Thank you, Emily.
But closer to an insult if you had to.
I mean, it just
have the bar one way or the other.
With or without, I'd choose without for him. But that's just me.
No, I would definitely. This could be one of those things where, you know, the Kings, eventually their playoff run ends, and he looks in the mirror and says, this ain't going anywhere.
Do you notice when you walk into something like a Starbucks or a grocery store that everybody just creates a little more space than they used to?
I don't know about that, but I don't think it's a coincidence that the Kings have started winning since this happened.
Hey, you know me. I respect that a great deal. I do.
2-0.
People are going in there at the grocery store. They're grabbing their groceries, going to another.
They're just like,
another aisle.
This checkout has nobody other than Taylor. That one's got 6 people. I think I'll just move it on over there.
Like if a face tattoo gave the Kings forever to win, you'd get a face tattoo. People will give you the space then.
So you mentioned that you think that, hey, it may have something to do with it, and I deeply respect that. Were any of you watching Shaq during halftime of the Clippers and Suns last night?
I did not see it, no.
Anybody?
Tell me what happened.
Well, you know what I'm talking about, because
was it something with his?
Is it shaved face?
No, it was about what we're talking about right now. Just the idea of, hey, look, this may have something to do with it. A little superstition. He mentioned the gods.
Oh, with Phil.
Yes.
Yeah, with Phil Jackson.
That Shaq was talking about the gods. That Phil Jackson said,
you just play hard.
Keep playing hard, and the basketball gods will
reward you.
They're gods to all of these things.
Yep.
Right? That sports fans need to have a little pagan in them. They need to have a little paganism, and there's a god for this and a god for that. And just Phil Jackson, pretty good coach, seemed to win a lot of titles. He believed in him. So who are we to say that there aren't any?
Are the basketball gods vengeful, or are they merciful?
All gods are both vengeful and merciful. Depending on whether or not you give them their tribute properly, they will reward you, like Phil Jackson was saying. If you antagonize them, they can be rather vengeful.
Okay, and who was he talking about? Of all the people,
Westbrook.
Russ.
Yeah, the gods did not smile on Russ last night. At least not on his team.
On his team, no.
Yeah.
But he had a good game.
Yeah, well, it's funny. He goes 3 for 6,000 and they win, and he's a lot better last night and they lose. Not because of anything he did necessarily, but the gods are fickle and hard to understand, and maybe they favor a mustache.
I like to believe that.
You're committed. That's all that matters.
What if, okay, let's say, and I don't think it's going to go this way, especially with Draymond getting kicked to the curb for a game. Say the Kings lose the next couple in San Francisco, and we're back to 2s. Are you losing faith in the mustache?
I actually think that it's going to go to 7 this series.
You do?
Yeah, I believe that.
Even now with Draymond? Because I wouldn't have been shocked at all. Golden State takes the next 2. They go back to Sacramento. It's tied 2 apiece. Draymond thing's not a small deal. Let's put it that way.
Correct, but I don't know. It's still the Warriors. Still have a lot of respect for them. They're defending champs.
I like the slow play.
They've always been good at home.
It's good slow play there.
The Kings, and by the way, his attitude on this is similar to the Kings' attitude on it. They don't chirp a lot. They just go out there and they play, and all season long they've been pretty good, and it's not we're being disrespected, and y'all better get ready for what we're going to
No, not at all.
They don't do
said
that.
Nothing.
They're the anti-Grizzlies who basically only do that, right? And I like a heel in sports. Is you need somebody that everybody kind of, these guys just shut the you-know-what up.
Yep.
And the Warriors have kind of grabbed that mantle of the team that talks way more than their resume indicates that they should.
Memphis.
Yes.
Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis does. That doesn't mean that they can't win tonight. That doesn't mean that they can't win tonight without Ja Morant. Mm-hmm. Their season is probably hanging in the balance tonight. They're going to throw everything they have at the Lakers. The Lakers, could be predisposed to taking their eye off the ball tonight because they won game one, because they have struggled with some consistency, because role players tend to give you a good one or a bad one or something.
That's why they're role players.
They're all over the map. The Lakers better be buckled up from the beginning of this one tonight because Memphis, whatever they've got, jaw or no jaw, they're going to get both barrels coming right out of the gate.
It doesn't happen often where a team goes on the road for the first two playoff games, and we're going to have the conversation, most of the conversation today, and I think a lot of Laker fans are going to feel this way as well. You'd be really disappointed if it's 1-1 coming back Saturday at Crypto.com.
Sure.
1-1 for a team that it's nothing Memphis has done wrong. Trav, if I told you that Brandon Clark is healthy, Steven Adams is healthy, and Ja Morant is healthy, it's not just a series, but the Memphis Grizzlies are favored. Mm-hmm. They would be favored in that situation. They're all not healthy. Two of those guys who are kind of their backbone on defense and their backbone on just grabbing rebounds and they can push the ball up the floor, they're gone. Ja Morant is their best player, and I've seen some of the stats of how the Memphis Grizzlies play when Ja Morant's not there. Well, a lot of those games, they had their big men. Sure. They had Steven Adams and Brandon Clark, so I don't think it's apples to apples. And to look at it just from a Laker perspective, sometimes things just line up your way and other times it doesn't. It's clearly not lining up for the Memphis Grizzlies. If they find a way in this game tonight or today, whatever it is, to tie the series up at one apiece, and you could sit there and say before the series started for you and I, we're saying, hey, you can't go down 0-2. Just got to go get that split. But the story has changed.
It's not just get a split.
And their best player has real issues with potentially not playing in this game.
So a couple of things. Number one, how many tickets did you say we have left for the Mandy's when you checked during the break?
A. Brown and I were looking 11.
11 left. Mm-hmm. So we've got 5 minutes left to sell what was 11 tickets left about 7 or 8 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So they may be gone, but if you want to go to the Mandy's, you should go do it right now because they are going fast. We're down to nearly single digits at this point. ESPNLA.com is the place you go to get your tickets. Tier 2, $25 a piece. We sold nearly all 1,000 of them yesterday. There are 11 left, so if you want to go do it right now. Secondarily, what you were talking about with the Lakers winning game one, with John Morant being hurt, with the other guys being out of the lineup like you're talking about. If the Lakers lose this year, because you're right, with those other guys here, Memphis is probably the favorite. They're not anymore. Mm-hmm. They're not only not the favorite, they're probably some pretty significant underdog vibes feeling right now. If the Lakers lose this series, and I don't think they are, I think they're in a terrific spot right now.
Yep.
It's because the Lakers will do something bad rather than Memphis is going to do something great. I think that the way that this goes back to Memphis's favor, that all of a sudden they grab home court back or they have the momentum, it's because the Lakers do something dumb, right? And whether a foul at the end of the game, whether they cover the 3-point line, or all those little things that we've seen at the end of the games. You have Hachimura and Reeves and D'Angelo look like they looked in the Minnesota game. Not so much Rui, he was okay, but you just get really below-the-line performances from your role players.
Ton of turnovers, just ugly basketball.
Trouble, just all of those things that
take your foot off the
control
gas
over. It's going to be that the Lakers do it to themselves rather than Memphis does it to them.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect way to put it. If I was talking about this yesterday with a couple of different guys, and we were saying that, let's say Desmond Bane goes for 30 tonight. Okay. Let's say Jaren Jackson Jr. goes for 30 tonight. Okay. Where are they going to get the rest of their offense from? Dylan Brooks drops 15. That they have to do so much on their end without John Morant to just make it a game. And on top of that, the Lakers got to struggle, or the Lakers got to walk into a game. We've seen this before. It's not if the Lakers play down to their competition, we wouldn't say, I can't believe they play down to their competition. We've seen it before this year. They've played in games where nobody's playing for the Suns or nobody's playing for the Jazz, and all of a sudden it's a 2-point game in the fourth quarter. So that's happened before. And there is something with Memphis. Look, the Grizzlies know. If you drop your first 2 games at home, there's a very strong likelihood that the only time you're going back to Memphis is that the series is done and you're starting your summer vacation. So whatever they have, they're going to put. Basically, today's game is either it can make the series interesting or it's just a matter of time before the series is over.
This is where getting a little too cute can kind of blow up in your face. I look. Give me my choice, Lakers by 30, right? Like that's they just kind of enjoy this. Like, okay, here we go. They're rolling. That would be the best case scenario. But a scenario where it is a little tight, where they do have to execute down the stretch and leave with a win because they executed well, rather than they leave with a win because the other team was a little worse than they were, looking at you, Minnesota. I wouldn't hate seeing one of those at some point. Maybe in game 3 or 4 with a 2-0 lead, a 3-0 lead.
Yeah.
Can we get a few of those to
test
where,
you a little bit,
and just let's workshop this, right? Let's having gone through this and have it go well. I know they've played some close games and won them, but not because they did it right. It's because the other guys did it worse. I keep going back to that Minnesota game. They didn't win it as they just kind of survived Minnesota being a little bit worse than they were.
Minnesota didn't score a field goal for 6 minutes in the fourth quarter.
And they fouled a 3-point shooter with 1.4 seconds left.
To play off what you just said as well, I think what will be fascinating in tonight's game specifically, you got certain opportunities that you get sometimes, and some of those go against you. We talked about last couple of years. Anthony Davis goes down with an injury. Series is over against the Phoenix Suns. Mm-hmm. Is it a Lakers team that decides, our only interest is closing out a series against a team on the road and getting that opportunity? You mentioned the Clippers and the Suns yesterday. Suns go down 0-2. Could they come back from it? Yes, the Suns could, because they're the Suns and they have all their players. Memphis is missing their main people.
Yeah, Memphis is not the Suns.
No.
All right, you got about a minute or so to grab those last tickets to the Mandy's. If you want to go, we're literally down to the final minutes, the last final couple of tickets as well. ESPNLA.com is the place you go to buy them. Go right now, or you're going to be hearing about it all summer long and being, damn, I should have gone to the Mandy's. Don't blow it. ESPNLA.com is the place to go. Speaking of the Clips last night, 1-1 coming back to L.A., but are they still alive? That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. If you get hurt in an accident, there's really only one thing to do, and that's call Sweet James. 1-800-9-MILLION. All right. You might have to buy me lunch now, Sliwa. Still a couple. Go
goes
get
that
them.
idea.
Go get them. ESPNLA.com. Look, you're going to have a great time. You're going to have a great time. Come on out to Commerce Casino. Mandy's in June. You can Saturday. Take a day. Enjoy Alan Sliwa's tuxedo.
Yep.
My North American cut suit. Maybe Mace will have the sequins on again. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Come on out.
It's an easy sell.
It is.
Anybody who comes is going to enjoy themselves. So, especially if you didn't come last year, if you didn't get a chance to experience the first one we did, you heard us all talking about it, promoting it. The second one will be just as good.
All right, speaking of the Commerce Casino and Hotel, Al and I are giving you a chance to compete in the Cal State Poker Championship. That also is coming up at the Commerce Casino and Hotel. When we give you the cue to call, you're going to want to call, and you can win a seat valued at $250. The number is 877-710-ESPN. You're going to want to wait before we tell you which number caller you want to be. And if you are, you win entry into the Cal State Poker Championship. That's coming up this weekend at the Commerce Casino and Hotel, where the game reigns. Also, Al, you and I live at the Commerce Casino this Friday from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. to kick off the start of the tournament. And I don't remember the last time I played poker, but I've never gone to play poker, whether it's with buddies, whether it's in a casino, and not had a great time. Always fun.
Okay, so there was a time played in a poker tournament. Was this the Mason and Ireland tournament? There was a time where, I'm still on the sales side.
I'm going to guess you're a pretty good poker player.
I enjoy playing poker, but anybody who's really good at poker, they're going to go through me like no tomorrow. Every time I try to bluff,
I understand.
Every time I try to bluff, they call it. I'm like, how the hell do you know that? Every time I'm strong, they're out. So it's like I'm not. I'm.
Do you smile when you get a pocket aces or something like?
If you know how fast my heart starts beating when it's just Queen 10, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Go headphones, go glasses, like the whole thing, to completely obstruct your face so nobody can
Why
get
is
your
Sliwa wearing
reads?
a full mask?
Why not?
Yeah.
Right?
There's no rules.
Go like
there
that old Rip
rules.
Hamilton. Remember the face shield but it was black?
Yeah.
Right? Go with one of those so nobody can read your expressions.
Okay, so I'm playing a tournament. This is years ago. And I can't remember if it was Mason and Ireland tournament. It was either at Commerce or it was at the Gardens Casino, but we did a tournament, and I'm on the sales side at that time. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to play in this tournament. And I was kind of, all right, hey, I'll play for like a half hour, 45 minutes.
Yep.
So I was playing really loose. Like I'm trying to almost kind of get out of this
Did you catch
thing.
some good cards?
Not only did I catch good cards, people were like, this guy's he's trying to lose, right? And it's kind of funny the way it's the first time I've ever had four of a kind. Okay?
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. And it was 4 twos as well. So there's 2 twos that come on the flop, and I got a pair of twos. And I'm already winning some hands, so now I got some.
So you had 4 of a kind on the flop?
On the flop.
Oh, yeah,
on the flop.
You could pull some guys in on that.
Well, and they're only showing twos, number one.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no way for me to, I don't even have to do anything. only thing I'm
Don't
just not
raise
going to
too
go
fast.
all in.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I'm going to do. But I just use that as an example because it was the time, and this is how life works, when I didn't care, and I'm like, guys, I actually have to hurry up and get out of this because there's some other stuff that I had to do. I couldn't get out. Finally,
you keep catching 4 of a kind. I can't even get out of here.
Got the head of the casino whispering in my ear, you can't win, right? I'm like, yeah, I know that. I'm trying to give them my...
Stop dealing me 4 twos. Maybe I'll have a chance to lose a hand. Ask Taylor coming up about 8 minutes from right now, so make sure that you get those in. You can come in on the phone, too, 877-710-ESPN. Watching the clips in the Suns last night, not surprised that the Suns figured it out, especially in the second half. I'm not an NBA coach, but it seems to me, Al, that running your offense through Kevin Durant and Devin Booker seems like a pretty good idea.
Might not be a bad idea.
That once they started to do that, they kind of took control of the game, and the Suns looked more like the team that I thought we were going to be. I will say this, though. I thought coming into the series that there was a very, very slim chance that the Clippers were going to make it competitive simply because Paul George wasn't there. And the Suns have 4 really good players.
Yep.
And the Clippers have 1, and we really haven't seen much of the 1 over the last few seasons. I know they lost. I'm still picking the Suns, coming back here to L.A., tied at 1-1. But I got to tell you, man, seeing the way that Kawhi played in those first 2 games, I don't think this series is over. I'm still sticking with the Suns, but the way that you almost forgot, and Emily may have been on to something along the way with her playoff Kawhi thing, but he's been so good, he may be able to single-handedly win 2 or 3 or God knows, maybe even a 4th game. That series feels far more competitive than it did even after a loss last night.
I may have been wrong.
So there wasn't, when Clippers ended up, when Phoenix, the game ended, and Suns tied the series 1 apiece. I'll tell you the first initial thing that went through my head. Got to feel pretty good if you're the Clippers.
Yeah, I thought so too.
You have to feel pretty good about it because
of Kawhi.
Even towards the end of that game, it's a 4-point game in the fourth quarter. So it's not like Phoenix came out and they're up 25. I'll give you an example. Cleveland lost the first game to the Knicks. Cleveland was up 25 or 30. They have no choice here. Clippers, even with everything, even had a double-digit lead early in the second quarter or whenever that was. Look, I don't think anybody thought less of Kawhi. You had some curiosity, right? I didn't think less of Kawhi. The problem was there's only one Kawhi, and there's a Devin Booker, and there's a Kevin Durant, and there's a Chris Paul. There's some of these other guys. Now, if Paul George is on the other side, then I think the conversation's different. Kawhi can have 35 or 40, and they can still lose a game. Mm-hmm. The problem is you need some of these other guys to obviously contribute. But if you're the Clippers, I'll go actually a step further. I said this, I'm basically talking to my girl, which is basically talking to myself after the game because she doesn't have interest. She loves the TNT crew. She thinks they're hilarious.
Who gives you better feedback on your NBA analysis, Lady Slee or Rookie?
Rookie. Yeah, Rookie 100% gives better.
It's like rough, good take.
Exactly. No, but I'm saying to myself, I'm not surprised at all. It's 2-2 going back to Phoenix. 2-2 going back to Phoenix. They split these 2 games here in L.A. And to go with what you just said, all you're trying to do if you're the Clippers, can we just prolong this series?
Extend. Make it a one-shot deal.
That's it. And I think they got a good chance. By the time they leave crypto, whenever day that is, I think they got a good chance to tie it up or have it at 2 apiece.
I don't disagree with you. I want to go back to something you said about Kawhi, where you said, you don't think less of him. I never thought less of him. It's almost I'd forgotten. Right? It's been 4 years since we saw him in Toronto where he put that team on his back and won a championship. He's been hurt, and he's probably the single biggest poster child for load management, right? That he's the guy that they don't play him even when he's fully capable of playing because they want to manage his minutes. That this is bad for the NBA. This is bad that if this works, Al, this is bad news. Because we know, I don't care if it's basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever, NFL football. Somebody does something that works, you see teams line up to do it.
Oh, yeah.
You're right. If all of a sudden you say, hey, listen, play your best players like 45 or 50 games. And then when they hit the gas, does Kawhi not look a little fresher than everybody else out there? Does he not look like he's got a little bit more bounce, a little bit more energy, a little bit more of the zing or whatever it is? He looks incredibly bouncy where everyone else looks like they're getting ready for a 15-round fight, right, to just slog through this thing. If this works, if he beats the Suns in the first round by himself, get ready to watch a bunch more players in the league take even more time off.
He played 52 games.
Okay? That means he missed 30.
30 games. Means you played about, 60% of the season, right. Something like that, whatever it is.
Good for the Clippers, bad for the league if they say, hey, listen, play Giannis 50 games, play Embiid 50 games. Play Anthony Davis 50 games. Be really careful because none of this blank matters until we get into a series, and then they're going to be as fresh as they can possibly be, and you go for it.
Well, there's certain teams, and this is just kind of the reality of it. Golden State, I mean, maybe this year isn't a good example. There's certain players and teams that home court doesn't mean everything to them, right? And I think for the Clippers,
seemed comfortable in Phoenix the last couple
very
nights.
Comfortable. And I think for the Clippers, the question is, do you want to have the number 3 spot in the Western Conference and have home court and have to play Kawhi 65 games? Or do you want 52 games, Kawhi's fresh for the postseason, and you got to win 1 on the road?
It's a no-brainer, right?
By the time game 1 was over, they already took home court.
It's a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. It's fresher is better, and he's been the best player in this series so far. And if they somehow snag it, and no stupid-ass mid-season tournament is going to get these guys to go. Right? They're going to wear different uniforms. They're going to have different courts. Who cares? What are the stakes?
I truly still do not understand
We need stakes. We'll talk more about that. But
we're going to serve different food at the concessions. Okay.
All sushi. During the play, it's all sushi and Indian food.
Sushi Saturdays. What? That's the idea.
I just want a dog and nachos and a Bud Light. What's the big deal? What
Soy sauce.
happened? What happened? Ask Taylor. At Travis Rogers is where you can send him. At Alan Sliwa is where you can send him. 877-710-ESPN is where you can call. It's all coming up next. Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
This week on 710 ESPN.
It is time. Last year was our inaugural version of the 710 Mandy Awards. We've got our second one coming up. When is it, boss Amanda Brown?
The date for the second annual 710 Mandy Awards is Saturday, June 10th at the Commerce Casino.
All right. Look at that. We're going to Commerce. Last year we went to Montebello. Now we're going to Commerce. Going to be a party, and we're doing it on a Saturday.
I like it.
For people like you and Shidana that went, Friday night's too tough.
I don't think I said that, but okay.
The second annual 710 Mandy Awards.
Welcome, 710 Mandy Awards.
Saturday, June 10th at the Commerce Casino.
But the host of the year goes to the Love Boat, Scott Kaplan.
Tickets go on sale this Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. on ESPNLA.com.
Harrah's Resort SoCal. Find your funner state of mind with a visit to Harrah's Resort SoCal. Voted best resort in funner California. From dining to unwinding, you'll find fun around every corner. Learn more at harrahssocal.com. Ask Slee right now.
Taylor, you've brought out a pretty good cross-section.
Bro, these
of
are
folks.
hilarious.
They're pretty good. You ready for
They're
this?
coming out of the woodwork or
really
what?
Yeah, they're
funny.
they're good and they're thoughtful and there's
Yeah.
a lot of things going on here. All right.
Okay, hit me.
People like
you want
Taylor.
phone or do you want Twitter?
Let's go Twitter.
All right, Twitter first. Chris, what's the worst thing about being tall? Hashtag Ask Taylor.
I think, I don't know. Sometimes it's considered a compliment. I know when people will mention your height, but it just happens pretty much every day. You know, somebody's got to mention something about the weather up there or some kind of joke like that. It's just all old and
Well, at least you know
played
if
out.
somebody gives you a weather joke that you know you can just skip that person for the rest of your life because that's not funny. But
Right.
you just it's a bit of a tell.
Yeah, but the way I said it to you, I think it was delivered properly.
So, but okay, you are 6'5"?
6'5", yeah.
Okay, 6'5", which is tall.
Yeah.
By any measure, that's a very tall person. But it's not like you're 7 feet tall. Do you get it every day?
I do, and especially since living in California, I think the average height of most people is just a little shorter than people in the Midwest. So I'll hear it, and I don't know. I'll just be a foot above everybody else in a
Not
room.
only have I never asked him or said anything, I'm just purely jealous. Like I walk by him like son of a.
6'5" tall.
Do you see like the things in the grocery stores that are like dusty and dirty because no one else
That's
can
a good
reach
point.
them?
Good point.
Little
That's-
old ladies.
That's one thing I don't mind. Is a little old lady asking me, "Oh, if I could reach that?" I feel like I'm.
that box of rice-a-roni,
He goes and plays pickup basketball tomorrow.
That's my good deed of the year.
He gets picked right away. I just don't like it.
All right. This
Whether
is-
or not I'm good.
Daniel writes, with the mustache coming in, when grooming it, do you speak encouraging words to it like people talk to their plants to make them grow?
Okay, Daniel, it's brave of you to assume that I groom it because that's not happening. Actually, the mustache talks to me. It begs me to. It begs me to shave it pretty much every hour of the day.
With the itch, with
Have
the
to
just have you gotten to the point where it always feels like whether you're drinking your coffee or eat something that there's always something in it?
It feels like it's going to start going over.
Okay, here's the funny thing.
Into tooth
For
territory.
even how short it is, but I've grown a beard before, whatever the case is. Doesn't it then just seem like you feel like without looking at a mirror, oh, this is huge.
Yeah.
Then you go look at a mirror, I'm like, there's 7 hairs there. Relax. It's not that big.
Slee, this is your 5 o'clock shadow, so
That 100% is my 5 o'clock shadow.
so I got the height thing. You got the mustache.
It's the ones in the corner of your mouth too, Taylor. That's a bad deal.
Okay, I got one for you. Robert Wilkins on Twitter. Taylor, would you give up your thriving music career
Thriving. Yeah.
for a Sacramento Kings championship? As in, you can no longer perform anymore at these shows. You gotta, think of your favorite instruments, the fiddle, everything else. Those are all gone. They're
Can't
out of the
play 'em
way.
anymore?
Can't play them anymore. But the Kings win an NBA
Play
championship.
for yourself, like in your house, but you can't play in front of people, right?
I was even going to take that away.
You can't touch an instrument.
This
Okay,
is
if
a
you're taking-
Sacramento Kings championship.
If you're
That's a
taking away
lot.
me playing in my house, I mean, music's life. I can't take that away. So I'm sorry, Kings. I love you. Been loving you for a long time, but picking music.
What if it's a dynasty?
It's a good follow-up there.
It's got to be like the 50s, 60s Celtics, if that's what
You
we're talking.
need 10?
Yeah, I need 10.
Francis
What's the
in
John
Glendale.
Wood in UCLA.
Are you bummed that there are no All-Stars table this year at the Mandy's and you can't eat the extra meal between us? Hashtag Ask Taylor. Did you eat 2 meals last year?
I mean, they weren't eating them. They weren't touching the plates. I'm not going to let food go to
Don't
waste.
let it go to waste.
It was good food. Come on, Francis. I don't know who I'm going to sit by. I can't bring a +1 this year, so I don't know.
You ever done that at a wedding where there's just one extra open table and they're coming around and they're like, somebody's sitting there? I'm like, yeah. They put the dinner. What'd they get? Chicken or steak? Both.
Yeah, they just
Also-
whatever I didn't get is what they got. I want to taste the other thing.
At that table last year, I got to hear your infamous story, Trav.
Well, there's developments to that story, and I can't get into it.
I
too
saw
much.
something online too.
Yes.
That it might
right?
be
yes, that it may be apocryphal, that it may be not entirely.
fugazi?
told in other parts
Yes.
of the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Actually,
Yes.
I hope it's a fugazi.
It might be. Put it this
God,
way.
do I hope it's a fugazi.
I am of the opinion that it is. I think that it probably is. That's why.
Is this Johnny Depp looking at him right
It's-
away and
it's-
Al Pacino
it's
there
not great.
showing him the diamonds?
I
He's like,
saw-
get these out of here.
I think we saw the same thing, Taylor. I'm like, oh man, way too similar.
It's nothing sacred.
Way too similar. Let's go try the phone here. Let's go to Torrance and Alex. Alex, what's up?
All right, Taylor, since you're the music guy of the group, if you weren't on a ESPN show for the radio, what kind of FM music show would you be on?
An FM music show. Well, I used to work for 106.7. I used to work for K-Rock here in town. My first radio job.
Did you
out
get
of-
to pick the music?
No, I was
Okay.
not. I was
Yeah.
not choosing the music. I don't know. Maybe it's something like KCRW or something where they're
public
playing
radio.
independent artists.
I was going to say, if you had your channel on like Sirius XM or whatever, what sort of artists are you playing? Are you doing an eclectic mix of popular and kind of off the beaten path?
Yeah, it wouldn't just be one genre of music. I like to listen to everything, so I'd be choosing stuff across the board.
It's kind of like what you do for our show. When you come into, it has a lot of different music coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to ask.
What if he just went like
music.
all R&B?
Wait, maybe
Been awesome.
Maybe that's the mood he's in. It could happen.
Sade, only Sade.
Music will get you in all sorts of different moods. Chrissy writes, this is in the Trav and Slee community. Welcome, Chrissy. If you could open for any artist, who would you want it to be, and what would you want your last song to be before the headliner?
Okay, let me think. So a lot of my favorite artists are dead or not playing anymore or have broken up as bands. So I guess, yeah, Slee talking about R&B. I'd pick an R&B artist, Atmosphere. They're from Minnesota, and they play a lot of reggae-inspired songs. And I don't know, I think it'd just be fun to open up for them just because they seem like cool guys. And if I had to play a song with them, I don't know, I'd maybe do something on the fiddle. A lot of their songs have strings in them, so something like that.
I'm going to merge, by the way, I want to merge one of these with a barbecue question that always comes up with you, okay? Mm-hmm. And Taylor, you playing at shows, all right? Christopher Holmes, Travs has a barbecue at his house. And instead of inviting you, he asks you to play music at the event. Is that an insult, or are you flattered, and do you accept?
Okay, it's an insult if he doesn't offer to, pay me a little something. We can discuss rates, Trav. So if that's the case.
If he's basically saying, hey, man, I'm having an awesome barbecue this upcoming weekend. Everybody from the station is coming. Can you play? And I need you to play for an hour, and then I'm going to get you some food, and then I need you to play for the last hour.
So basically, I get what everybody else is getting at the barbecue, except I'm playing music.
Except you have to work. Right?
Yeah, that's not going to happen, Trav.
Okay, what if I want to change it a little bit? What if I said to you, hey,
you would never do that. So it's like you
never have a barbecue. Let's be honest.
I've had
he has plenty of barbecues. We're just not invited.
Not a Trav and Slee show one.
Let's say that I'm having a barbecue, and I say, hey, we're coming down. We're gonna have a few drinks. We're gonna watch the game. We're gonna hang out and shoot the breeze. And oh, by the way, you should bring your fiddle.
Well, yeah.
Is that an insult, or is that a
that doesn't seem like it. That seems like that would be. Like bringing that to the event would make it.
You have a
to
talent that I think people would enjoy and would love to see.
He's thinking about it.
Or you just want to come and hang?
I just want to hang. Yeah.
Okay.
I like doing that. I don't want to be guitar guy.
This is all rhetorical anyway. This is all theoretical. This is where we're all good. This is not something that we're going to have to worry about.
It's pretty funny.
G Fish writes, Taylor, how much would you pay for a carton of Marlboro Reds autographed by Vlade?
Oh, Vlade. Vlade has gone sour, in my opinion, honestly. I don't know.
Was he at one of these last games? Is he at all the games?
Yeah, he was there with Jay Will. But I've never been a fan of big guys for whatever reason. I've always cheered for the small guys like Bibby, Jay Will, Tyreek Evans. I like point guards, not the big guy, especially floppers.
Well, Vlade is a very specific sort of guy.
And that's
right?
like the king of flopping. Like, you can't go at the foundation of where the flopping began.
Can I make the case for Vlade real quick?
Yeah, I'm a Vlade fan.
So Vlade was one of the first European players to come over, and especially like highly touted European players to come over. And we weren't used to seeing 7 feet guys with skills, right? We still thought go down on the block and bang into Patrick Ewing for 2 hours and, shoot a bunch of hook shots. Vlade had skills like
good passer.
Great passer, but now and Vlade was on the court a lot, and it's like, typical Euro flopping soft, and we kind of looked at him through a lens that we hadn't developed yet. Now, these guys are just great players.
Yeah.
When these European players come over, it's no more, these Euros, it's like, this guy can go. This guy can really play.
Now it's like, why don't we have a couple Euros on our roster?
Vlade comes over now, and he's got these skills, and he can run the floor. Like, we look at him very differently. I think he was a little ahead of his time.
Yeah, it's
a little bit ahead of his time. I know that you don't partake anymore, Taylor, but Old Man Pete wants to know, whiskey or bourbon? I'm assuming with whiskey, he's talking about like more like a Scotch whiskey kind of situation. Did you have a preference back in the day?
Whiskey, yeah.
Yeah, not a bourbon man?
Not really.
Just like taste-wise, or you'd go nuts-wise?
I'll just... I go nuts on whiskey, too. But if I'm going to go nuts, I might as well be whiskey.
Yeah. Do you have one, silly, like, You can have one thing and it's fine, but if you go to the other thing, your mood or your perception of reality becomes a little different.
No, that doesn't
Yes.
change
Yes.
for me. Maybe
Liquor wasted.
Maybe tequila. You go like a little more party-esque.
Emily, do you have one that's like, I should probably just be a little more careful with this one?
Tequila.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I like it and have a good time. I just get into a different state. Also, champagne.
Champagne's instant hit. Love champagne. Love it.
Okay.
Love to have a glass of champagne. Love it.
Instant headache.
30 seconds later, I feel like I got hit in the head with a hammer.
Wine, too. Wine for me. I don't know. It's a different kind of drunk.
Wine drunk's the worst kind of drunk because it doesn't feel like you're super drunk, and then it feels like you get run over by a steamroller the next day. That's the worst version. What you and me on the vodka, though, one, cool. Two, fine. After that, probably not going to want to be around me all that much.
I'm good.
It's probably not that deal. All right. Clayton Kershaw, milestone in his career last night, and whole heck of a lot of motion. Very un-Kershaw-like afterwards. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Station.
Listen to Travis and Sliwa more at 10 a.m.
And it is Travis and Sliwa, your Wednesday, a Lakers game day Wednesday. What is on tap today thanks to Michelob Ultra? Coming up at 1 p.m., Mason and Andy Kamenetsky count you down to the Toyota Lakers countdown to tip-off at 3 p.m. with Sliwa. Then at 4:30, John Ireland, Michael Thompson have all your play-by-play live from Memphis. Game 2 of round 1. Lakers Grizzlies as the Lakers go for that 2-0 series lead. Let's get it as that push to banner 18 is on. Right now, more of Travis and Sliwa, your Wednesday on 710.
Makes her clothes fall off.
All right, Taylor, I have a bonus Ask Taylor that we always do with Slee. So here's my question. So how many cats is too many cats, and does it change over time? Certified cat guy.
Certified cat guy. That's me. Okay, so growing up, I had a lot of outdoor cats because I grew up on a farm. So we'd have anywhere from 6 to 7 of these wild animals running around at the same time.
Were they feral? Like, were they just out there? And
No, we'd have them, we'd take them to the vet, get them fixed, and do all that stuff. So they were just, I don't know, they kind of kept to themselves. But if you're an indoor, if you're keeping your cats indoor, I think that's way too many. I think the number is 2 to 3.
3?
That's getting up there.
Does it change as you get
3?
older, or
That's a lot of cats.
A lot of cats.
3, yeah. Like 3? Am I
You asked for the cap, like
Yeah, well-
the limit.
That seems like a lot of cats.
2 to 3.
3 cats using a sandbox in
Okay,
your
can
house.
I ask
to
a
use
question?
to
Can I
go
ask
to
a
the
question?
bathroom.
What's the difference between 3 and 5? At that point, you just have 5.
Fair?
Right?
Fair.
If you got 3 of them,
5 and 50.
2 is a buddy? 2 is fine because 2 has your one cat can have a buddy.
if you got 3 and there's 2 more roaming around, you're probably only going to see 3 at a time because 2 are hiding.
Taylor, take your headphones off. I don't want you to hear what I'm about to say. The correct amount of cats is 0. Don't own a cat.
Taylor's a cat guy.
That's the correct amount of cats.
I'm never going to get more than 1, I don't think.
Emily, are you considering getting a cat?
No. I'm just curious because
She
I've had
lives with one.
I've had this fight with friends before about how over 2 cats means you're a cat lady. When you have 2 cats, you just have 2 cats.
Doesn't T Swift have 3?
She has 3 cats. She's a cat lady.
Taylor-
She's a
yeah.
certified cat lady. She has 3
I'm
cats.
shocked you don't have 3 cats right now.
There's no okay.
I'm shocked. I'm just
I'm
saying.
in the same boat as the 3 people on this show that we're talking to right now because Taylor's not listening. Is we're gonna have. We don't like cats. We are not cat people. I have lived with a cat, and it has been fine. We've been symbiotic. I don't pet her.
Do you get affection from your cat? Like, does the cat just chill with you and sit in your lap, and you get to pet the cat? Like,
he's codependent. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have any friends.
Because dogs you get
That's kind of a
affection
sad
from.
thing.
Yeah.
There's unconditional love from a dog. A dog sees you and it's so excited to see you, and he jumps up and down. And
Yeah.
You can tell that dog's thrilled to see you. Cat's like, "What's up?" Yeah.
That's
Like,
kind of
dogs are a little
But that's
too-
okay. That's
the
maybe
allure.
maybe I'll
It's
swing through later if I feel like it.
Cats are too smart. Dogs are a little dumb, and it's fun to have a little bit of a dumb animal.
You
around.
want something that loves you no matter what. Like that cat. What if that cat's like, I'm not really feeling you today.
But to earn a cat's affection, you have to be special. To earn a dog's affection,
Have
you
you
just have to
you
be breathing.
have you
you have to
ever
be there.
have you ever owned a cat, had a cat, anything?
No.
Okay. I have not, but one of the roommates that I lived with, his girl had a cat.
Yeah.
Okay? So the cat would just find its way at the house. Like she'd take the cat. The time I kind of spent with the cat, I'm like, this guy's pretty awesome, but I've never owned a cat.
So
and I don't think
awesome.
I ever will.
Exactly.
But
awesome.
But
huh?
it's not the cat's fault. I just don't know enough
It's
about
not
cats.
that cat's fault. It's cat's fault. They're aloof. They're like, I'm aloof enough for anybody. The last thing we need is something in the house that's even aloofer than me.
That's it.
We
I'm getting 2 cats.
Go ahead. More for you, less for everybody else. All right.
We're going to a cat cafe.
Go to get your Mandy's tickets right now. Right, there are still a handful or so left. ESPNLA.com, June 10th. The 710 Mandy Awards Part 2 is coming up. And go check, right? When you go to ESPNLA.com to vote for Alan and myself and Em and Taylor, and you are going through Show of the Year, Bit of the Year, Host of the Year, Man of the People, all of these things. See if there's a few tickets left. Tier 2, $25. There literally is a handful or so of them left. So if you want to go, now is a great way to do it. But you better do it sooner than later because they're not going to last to the end.
All right, so there are singles left too. I think there's still some doubles, but if you don't have anybody to go to as well, don't hesitate to go because you don't have anybody to go to. Go buy one of those single tickets. You're going to hang out with all these people that everybody's going to be on the same page.
Everybody's on the same team in that room.
Make
Absolutely,
a new friend,
for sure.
have a lover. Who knows? Anything can happen
Who
at the
knows?
Mandy Awards.
Anything. That's well said. Well done, Emily. John in Huntington Beach. Wait, did I? You did not. Did I hear that Trav is hosting a Game 7 Kings Warriors barbecue?
He is.
Sounds good. We'll bring the All-Stars. Thanks. You misheard that, John. I don't know what you heard, but there was nothing.
I don't know. I think, guys,
Put your
I heard
address
it
on
too.
Twitter. Put your address on Twitter.
Yeah, I think that we are all going to do a Game 7 viewing party at Travis's house. Right, Taylor?
No, Taylor's saying to himself, it ain't going 7.
He said it was going 7.
That's my I think it will.
He still thinks that it is. The Dodgers get a win last night. Clayton Kershaw picks up win number 200. I know you guys don't do this, but I was talking with Berg this morning. they said right before the game started that Clayton Kershaw was obviously at 199 wins. He was attempting to become just the fourth active player to win 200 games in the major leagues. And I instantly thought, okay, who are the other three? And I had two right off the top of my head.
Scherzer, Verlander.
Those are the two. The third one's the trickier one, right? So I ended up into baseball reference wormhole. Was there for like 2 hours looking at baseball stats. Just ridiculous, right? And I now know that Tommy John pitched 26 seasons and had 288 wins. Tommy John has 88 more wins than Clayton Kershaw.
Oh my gosh!
Like what? How did that happen? So anyway, I did that for about an hour and a half. The fourth guy, just to close the loop, Zach Greinke. Zach Greinke.
I was going to guess that.
Were
you
really?
should have let me guess it.
Yeah.
I was going to guess Greinke because I knew that he was in that kind of a vein for a while.
Yeah, he was the other guy. So Kershaw is now among them. He's got his 200, and he was terrific last night. Game got off to a weird start where Jason Hayward made an error on the first play of the game.
Get a
Third-base
triple.
error.
Yep.
He ends up on third base. Kershaw strikes out the side. You're like,
Yep.
all right. Well, that's pretty cool. He's obviously on, and he was. He was terrific. I thought it was interesting that in the seventh inning, when he went out there and completed his night, he got the last out of the inning. Double fist pump.
2-1,
screamed,
3-0, tying run at home.
And super fired up that he got it done. It's April 18th last night. Clayton Kershaw just picked up his 200th win. I know that that's an emotional moment, but Clayton Kershaw is not a guy that beats his own chest.
Should be Dustin May,
right?
Young in his career, has one of those.
And I wanted to get your thoughts on it because to me, I think he's getting, and they were talking about this afterwards, he's getting a little more comfortable in understanding his place, not just on this team, but in Dodger history.
Okay.
He's one of the greatest Dodgers of all time, and to say that used to make him uncomfortable for a long time, I think he's a little more comfortable, and it means more to him than it might have used to. But I think even more than that, it was a reflection on that this team is maybe feeling it a little bit and not panicking because they got a bunch of veteran guys, but this has not gone the way that I think a lot of people thought it was going to go through the early part, and that Clayton Kershaw, of all people, was that emotionally invested in a midweek game against the New York Mets, game, was it 18 of the season? Was striking. I thought that it was meaningful.
So I think there is some to that. I think the way the Dodgers how they've started the season, how they've already kind of had some bad luck with some injuries, how they should have got swept by the Chicago Cubs, didn't, but they lost 2 games in a row. The one game they won comes on a walk-off. Peralta hits a base hit, 2-run score. But I think there's this, okay, I'm given the ball at a time where New York Mets is a good team. Can I help kind of stop the bleeding? All right, you get through get a few innings in, and you're pitching well. You're doing a great job. You finally have some real trouble in the 7th inning, and I thought the way he got out of it, and I think some of the emotion that shows, I think the fact that they have struggled to start off the season, I think the fact that the ball was in his hands with a chance to win his 200th game, I think there's a couple things that fall into play here, but I think because of what their record is and how they've struggled, I think yesterday was meaningful because he had a big reason to do with kind of stop the bleeding a little bit.
It was. I don't want to say it's not big. Can't be a big win when you're 9-9. You know what I mean? But it felt oddly important for a game at this point in the season.
It's a good team.
It was against a good team, and it is a personal achievement to win his 200th game, which, by the way, wasn't a sure thing with the bullpen being the way that it was. It's not like they were ahead 9-0, 3-0. There were still some question marks there, but that he's emotional the way he is, I think, is a reflection of the team at large. Like, hey, we're going to have to fight for some of these. This is not – the Dodgers for the last 3 or 4 years have had that run where, wait, did the Dodgers really just go 35-10? And they've done it year after year after year where you look up and what was a really close thing, it's like they got a 9-game lead. How did that happen? It happened in 3 weeks?
Yep.
How did that happen? I don't think that's coming from this team this year, at least not as currently constructed. They are – far more grinded out inning to inning team than they have been in a long time, and I think that had a lot to do with it.
When you have a good meal every night, you forget what a good meal is, right? When you have a good meal every single night, you just I just have a good meal every single night. When you start having very average meals, when you taste a good meal, you kind of savor it for a second.
Yes,
maybe there's a little moment of Kershaw yesterday just savoring a
was
moment
good.
of, that felt good.
That's good wine.
Yeah.
I've been drinking plastic bottle vodka for a couple of weeks.
Popov.
It's a screaming eagle right there. That's a good deal.
It seemed to mean more to him, too, that it was a team win. It wasn't an individual necessarily win. Obviously, he individually has to pitch that much to get a win, but that a win is an amalgamation of the whole team.
Yeah.
And that team has been so good for so long, and it's helped along that way. Also, I want to play the sound of it real quick, because the sound of him getting that strikeout was pretty awesome.
That's why tonight is really cool.
Wrong thing.
Clayton Kershaw with his ninth of the night, and a roar to end his evening.
It was not like him. He that's not his deal, right? Max Scherzer, who pitches for the Mets today against the Dodgers, pumps his fist and screams and looks like his head's going to blow off. His
personality.
That's how he's wired.
Yeah.
Right. There are guys like that. Closers a lot of times are that emotion that explodes. Kershaw's pretty chill, and he wasn't chill last night, which I loved. I thought it was great to see, and I think it's a reflection. Also, the Dodgers are not playing Mookie Betts at shortstop tonight. Can we just put that away forever? Get into that next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN. AutoZone has the free services you need.
PM. This is Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
I think that's what I'm going to start to do. I'm going to take a little page out of Clayton Kershaw's book, and then after I say something that I particularly like, I'm just going to, double fist, scream into the mic.
F yeah.
I don't know if I'll go there. I'd like to come back to work the next day. Maybe I'm on my last day. Whenever, sometimes you don't know when it's your last day in this gig, so maybe
if you ever get told,
heads up.
Yeah, I was going to say, but even if they're like in the process of telling you during a break, just turn your mic on and just say it.
That'd be in the break.
Or you have to like run in from Amanda's office just to get to a mic.
All right, so we got the Dodger game on. They start in about a little less than an hour playing the Mets.
By the way, how many people do you think will be at this game? It's like noon on a Wednesday.
I love these games.
In Dodger Stadium.
So it's a good question. Last night they had a big crowd. It's Vin Scully night. It's the Mets. It's Kershaw.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things
Night
working
game.
in their favor last night. They had like 43,000 people last night. It's April, and it was Tuesday night, and you had that's the Dodgers put people in that ballpark.
That's a Saturday night for most ballparks across the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And they did it right. It's a giveaway and all these things.
Yep.
I'll bet there are 30,000 people at that game.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's a little high.
It
but
is spring break for some people.
It is.
These are some of my, like, if there's a day to take off, these are fun days to take off. Get out to the ballpark, first pitch at noon or whenever it is. That's a great day.
It's funny you say that. I was thinking, like, because it's literally up the street from us, I'm like, maybe I'll shoot over there and watch them. I'm like, because of the pitch clock now, that game will be in the 6th, 7th inning by the time we're done.
And then you thought about driving halfway across California to get home.
Well, there's that too. But usually if you went an hour late, game's in the 3rd inning. You're an hour late now, that game's in the 6th inning. It's a totally different deal. The Dodgers are not playing Mookie Betts at shortstop today. Let me say it again just for clarity. They are not playing Mookie Betts at shortstop today, despite the fact that Dave Roberts was saying yesterday that there was a chance that they may do that. Mookie's on paternity leave.
Yeah.
He's not in the lineup today. Luke Williams, who they just called up from Oklahoma City, is going to play at short. Luke Williams, Dana Hills High School, go Dolphins.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so Luke's going to play shortstop today. Can we just not do the let's just move Mookie around all over the field thing? I understand that he wants to play infield. I understand that he probably can play infield, that he's pretty good at second base. Mookie Betts is one of the best outfielders in baseball. Can we just not take our best player and play him out of position because he wants to? I get it. Rojas is dinged up and bad.
Yeah.
Chris Taylor is dinged up and bad. This is why you have minor leagues. It doesn't mean if Freddie Freeman one day woke up and said, you know what would be cool? I'd love to try some center field. Are we just throwing guys around now? Do not take your best player and play him out of position like this. And Mookie at short, he played in the minor leagues. It's been a long time since Mookie Betts has played shortstop at this level. Put him in right field. If you must mess around and put him at second base, do it as sparingly as possible. He's not your utility infielder. Stop.
I'm going to answer your question. No, it's not going to stop. Because read the quotes. They're not going to stop. I mean, it's Dave Roberts says that he's clamoring he's been clamoring for quite some time to play in that position. So I don't know what to tell you. This isn't one of those where Dave Roberts has said, guys, I love that, he's willing to do whatever it takes. I love that. And we believe he can play there if we need him to. But this almost only sounds like it's a matter of time until he gets that opportunity to play short.
It's such a bad idea. I want everybody to close their eyes, and I understand this is unlikely. I understand this probably wouldn't happen, but just play along. There's a play at second base. Mookie's covering the bag.
Yep.
Here comes a steal. Here comes a double play. Here comes a play from the outfield, and Mookie gets steamrolled by Pete Alonso. That's cool, right? He's giving up 100 pounds to Pete Alonso, and he gets knocked into left field. Well, he wanted to. You like that? He goes deep into the hole, fields a ground ball, has to set his feet and throw it all the way across the diamond. A throw he has not made in that competition in who knows how long. Ooh, my elbow, that felt weird. We really want to do that because he wants to? It's a terrible idea. Luke Williams, go Dolphins, go Dana Hills High School, is why he's on this team. So if you need somebody to play short for a few days, is he your long-term solution? No. Can he play it for a week? Yes. That's why he's on the team. Why are we
okay,
if this even gets floated, just makes my brain scramble.
Let me ask you this question, because we've said this before when he was talking about wanting to play second, right? Wanted opportunities in the infield to play second. If we're talking about how Kershaw felt so good yesterday because it was a team win, that for Kershaw, hey, it's great I got my 200th victory of my career, but more importantly, we got to win. We need to win. Is this just a selfish move by Mookie Betts that I want to play the infield, even though I'm arguably the best right fielder in baseball? Is it, as we sit here and kind of talk about, it's obviously a team sport, and I'm not trying to go at Mookie. It's just here's the reality.
Fair question.
This is not a topic of conversation unless Mookie is telling Dave Roberts, I want to play this position. Is it a selfish move on Mookie that I want to do this, even though it's in the best interest of the team that I'm playing right?
Yes. There's no other explanation, because this isn't, hey, listen, and this doesn't happen very often anymore, but it's the 14th inning of a game. We've burned through our whole bench. We have nobody left.
Yep.
And, hey, Mookie, can you play shortstop for a few innings? Sure. This is
because the team needs me to.
Right. We don't have anybody else that can do it. I'd put Max Muncy at short before I put Mookie Betts there. I'd put Miguel Vargas at short before I put Max Muncy or Mookie Betts there. I don't understand where you're putting a guy where a lot of stuff happens around second base right there. A lot of stuff happens in that part of the field. He's your best player. I do not understand the upside other than he wants to. It's a terrible reason to do it. You're paying him a lot of money to play right field. Put him in right field.
It puts Dave in a tough spot, because you just said he's your best player, and you're trying to accommodate to your best player. Anybody else asking that who's not Mookie Betts, it's, my man, we don't have time for this conversation. First pitch is at noon, okay? I don't have time for this. For Mookie, it's actually consideration.
Did you get to watch? I know there's basketball on last night, too. Did you get to watch any of it last night? Did you?
Most of it.
Did you see any of Miguel Rojas' at-bats? Did you see those?
Yeah.
Does he think he's Aaron Judge?
I don't know what he thinks
because he swings the bat like he thinks he's Aaron Judge.
Does he think he's J.D. Martinez?
What are we doing? Dude, you're batting 100.
Yeah.
Can we shorten up a little? Can we try to maybe put something in play? I don't want to go back to the days of where Bill Russell was trying to, just hit little choppers through the – I don't want that. I want to hit the ball hard. But if you're going to swing like that, your last name better be Ohtani.
Yeah, that's not good.
Okay, you can't.
Well, you were saying this even about Chris Taylor, just kind of going through his year. He's swinging as if same guy.
Berg, what did you? So Chris Taylor has 4 home runs. He's got 4 home runs. You know how many hits he has?
5. That honestly, that's the most deceiving 4 home runs I've ever seen.
Mookie gets to swing as hard as he wants. Freddie gets to swing as hard as he wants. Muncy, Martinez, Trace Thompson can swing as hard as he wants. Guys that can pop one. James Outman, swing as hard as you want. Miguel Rojas, let's see if we can put one in play. Let's see if we can put a little pressure on the defense. Let's see if we can leg something out. Let's see if something can happen that's not. Austin Barnes doesn't get to swing as hard as he wants, and I don't think he does. I think that he's struggling, but he's not up there thinking, hey, watch, you want to see my Aaron Judge impression? Watch this.
Yeah, that's not
What the hell is he doing?
That's not happening. Yeah, it's not good baseball.
The Dodgers scored 3 runs last night. They hit 2 home runs. All 3 of their runs came in based on that home run.
Or 5.
5.
Yeah, 5.
When it was still close, right? The game before that, Freddie Freeman hits a pair. Max Muncy hits a home run. They're only scoring runs when somebody runs into something. You know what would help a lot? There was somebody on base ahead of those guys.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, a guy that's hitting 100. Drives me nuts.
Okay, this will make Dodger fans feel a little bit better, too. You know how many runs the Padres have scored in the last 3 games?
I don't.
1.
Got shut out twice.
Did you hear me?
Tatis is coming back tomorrow.
Yeah, he's coming back tomorrow. They went 0-0, and scored in the 9th 1 run yesterday.
That's not very good. It does make me feel a little bit better. But when you're looking at their lineup...
Go look at their lineup. They can't score a run.
They're going to be fine. You told me that, look, Machado's ice cold and Soto's cold.
They are.
Bogart's cold.
All of them.
They're going to be fine.
Bogarts isn't.
They're going to be fine. If Miguel Rojas and Chris Taylor are ice cold, I just assume it's going to last forever. Right? If you said Manny Machado hasn't gotten a hit in 30 at-bats, he's fine. Miguel Rojas hasn't gotten a hit in 30 at-bats, cut him. Get him out of here.
Ross, hold my beer. It's getting warm.
It just drives me nuts. Factor Cap coming up next. It's Trav and Slee. Shorten up that swing, Rojas. 710 ESPN.
This week on 710 ESPN.
It is time. Last year was our inaugural version of the 710 Mandy Awards. We've got our second one coming up. When is it, boss Amanda Brown?
The date for the second annual 710 Mandy Awards is Saturday, June 10th at the Commerce Casino.
All right. Look at that. We're going to Commerce. Last year we went to Montebello. Now we're going to Commerce. Going to be a party, and we're doing it on a Saturday.
I like it.
For people like you and Shinano that went, Friday night's too tough.
I don't think I said that, but okay.
The second annual 710 Mandy Awards.
Welcome, 710 Mandy Awards.
Saturday, June 10th at the Commerce Casino.
But the host of the year goes to the Love Boat, Scott Kaplan.
Tickets go on sale this Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. on ESPNLA.com.
Travis and Sliwa, we're here each weekday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and it's time for Factor Cap.
Oh, that's cap. That's so cap, Dad.
Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
No, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey guys. So Greg, let me ask
Hi.
you this question: Is 3 cats too many cats?
1 cat is too many cats.
All right.
Thank
Agree.
you. Sorry, Taylor.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
If you're up to 3, does it matter if you get 5?
No, at that point you're just a
Okay.
cat person.
We're on the same page on this.
If you're
If
3
you have
or
3,
it's 11.
100, it doesn't matter. You're a cat person.
4 are hiding the whole time.
How many do you have, Taylor?
I have 1.
Okay, that's
She
fine.
asked what the max would be, and I said 3. So I feel like I'm on the same page as you guys.
No, because the one
Of the one.
is the problem.
Yeah, 1 is too many.
He's harmless.
But yeah, you like, and let me guess, your whole thing is, well, he's more like a dog. Then get a dog.
No, he's nothing like a dog.
Keep your cat, bro. Just keep your cat. You're fine.
All right, guys. So Chris Evans was 2022's Sexiest Man Alive. He was on Jimmy Fallon, and he talked a little bit about he's in a fantasy football group with Paul Rudd, who was the year before Sexiest Man Alive. They were giving him some crap or whatever,
Chris
digging him
Evans
a little
is
bit.
Captain America, right?
Yep, Captain
Okay,
America,
yeah.
and he's been on other things too. So this is what he said when he talked about being the people's sexiest man alive.
So you were named the sexiest man alive. That's right.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying?
That's
yeah.
right.
And you
right.
It almost feels like that's all that title does is give you a hard time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nobody on the street's like, hey, you know what? You did it.
All right, so we all know we love Jimmy Fallon. He's our favorite person in the entire world. But it would be a burden to be people's sexiest man alive. Travis, Patrick Cap.
Cap. Yeah, I think that Chris Evans is probably probably maybe leaning into this one a little bit. Yeah, that I'm a little sore that you made me listen to Jimmy Fallon even for half a second, but that's another topic for another day. No, look, this is what guys like Chris Evans do. Chris Evans is talented. He's unbelievably handsome. He's rich. He's famous. He's all these things. It's one of these things you throw guys, but guys, it's really not what you think it is. It's actually a little bit of a burden. What? Telling women to go away with a boat oar because they're attacking you all the time? Like, what exactly is the burden that you're dealing with, Evans?
Berg?
Yeah, it's Cap. This is ridiculous. Like, there's never been a point in my life when anybody ever said, you're sexy. I'm like, oh, no, get out of here. Get out of my face. It feels great. What are we talking about here? Absolutely. Let me be sexiest man alive. I had a sexy voice the other day.
Maybe to some, not to everybody.
Most people didn't think it was very sexy.
Al?
So it's clearly fact. And here's why it's fact. Nobody's going to sympathize with this guy. Do you see your guy's answers right out the gate? What if the guy has a bad day? What if the guy internally is struggling with some issues? And everybody's going to say, yeah, you won Sexiest Man of the Year. Get out of my face. Well, even people with a lot of money have issues. Even the Sexiest Man of the Year has issues as well. I'm going to sympathize with him.
Apparently you have to be an Avenger, too, to be Sexiest Man.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps. All right, Taylor?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Slee on this. I think it's fact. We talk about like athletes and having all this money, and they shouldn't be complaining about mental health issues or something. It doesn't mean that you're not immune.
Is being called the sexiest man alive the same thing as having a mental health crisis?
Well, you said no. But you said people with money, people with this, that it kind of all comes together. You're the sexiest man.
But he didn't say he's depressed or that he's had something sort of.
I can hear it in his voice.
Mental health is a
and
big
even
deal.
Even if he had
Sexiest
something,
man alive.
Even if he had something, people would say, "No, you're fine, man.
So
You're the
tired.
sexiest man of the year."
But he's almost going to feel like you have mental health issues. No, you're sexiest man of the year. You're fine. No, that's not going to happen.
That's what you were basically just saying.
Evans is being bullied. It sounds like it.
So tired from what? Being up all night because you're so sexy.
You're so sexy.
Yeah. Well, what a burden.
By the way, Chris Evans, I only see him as Jake from Not Another Team movie.
Great movie.
He is not
Great movie.
Captain America. He is Jake from Not Another Team
But you're
movie.
wearing glasses. It's such a great movie.
All right, so today is my favorite football player of all time's birthday, Troy Polamalu. My favorite player growing up. I had a fat head of him growing up. Yeah, he's amazing.
Love the Head and Shoulders commercials.
All right, so speaking of which, you would rather have hair like Polamalu than a great mustache like Nick Offerman. Berg, Factor Cap.
Ooh, that's a good one. I would prefer to have a mustache like Taylor Smith.
Damn you. I was... Go ahead.
So
dream on, Berg.
Look, you guys have been talking about it. I like the mustache. I think it's a good-looking mustache.
Coming in.
I agree with you.
It's coming in.
It looks good.
I don't disagree with that.
No, I was getting...
You should grow one like that then if you like it so
Can you do it?
Give him 5 hours.
Can I do it? Have you not heard this show? Give me 2 days.
You could have one.
I want to see it.
You could have one by the dump.
This guy wanted.
Don't shave your mustache.
This guy wanted a series. He's doing it for a series. I could do it for literally 45 minutes.
I want to see what it looks like on Monday. Don't shave your mustache until Monday.
I'll let you know.
Right.
I'll let you know. All right, so this is exactly why I want Troy Polamalu's hair, is because I can grow a mustache. That's not a problem. What I can't do is grow hair like Troy Polamalu. So Troy Polamalu all day. And I love how it eventually got him, even after his playing career, he's in these commercials on Sundays for Head and Shoulders. He's doing, like, the fact that his hair also got him a great passive income past his playing career. I'm taking Troy.
Trev?
You want what you don't have. And I can grow a mustache, and I can't grow my hair like that, so I'm with Al on this one.
Taylor?
Well, like Berg said, I have the great mustache going, so give me those long curls.
Just so we're clear, when you show up with your mustache tomorrow, Slee, it can't be your mustache. It needs to be that mustache.
Yes.
You need to shave off the top part of it so it's just barely above your lip.
And a little bit in the middle.
Little blonde.
My favorite.
You got to dye it a little blonde. Exactly right.
My favorite is when people try to grow a beard, and there's just it doesn't grow here, and it doesn't grow there, and it doesn't grow here. And in my head, I'm like, just don't grow a beard.
You look like you're halfway through a Wolfman
It's
transition.
all patchy.
Yeah.
It's the full moon just came out, and we're halfway
That's
through
full
a
right
werewolf.
there.
This is a
That's
full-
full right there.
By the way, someone on Twitter said it about your beard, that you waited until, almost 50 or 50 to grow your beard and actually... You need to keep that all the time.
I've had it for like 2 years straight.
No. You were
Since
you
COVID,
were getting
right?
rid of it. I'm impressed.
COVID, right? Yeah.
I'm impressed with the fact that this late in life, you're like, I want a beard.
Well, no.
I like.
Here's
beard.
what happened. Susan complimented, and then Susan threatened. So Susan basically said, "You will not shave your head," and then
So I grew the beard during COVID, really, for the first time. And Susan's like, that looks really good. And so that's really all the encouragement I needed. If she likes it, I love it, right? And then I nicked it when I was shaving it the other day, and it was all messed up, so I had to take the whole thing off. You got to kind of start over,
Sure.
right? She's like, yeah, you really should grow your beard back. So we're done.
That's it.
This is how
it's done.
Until she says I should take it off or I nick it again, it's going to be on.
It's a good look. Keep it that way. And I need a sleeve mustache.
All right, so
Slee with a
Slee stash.
Taylor mustache.
Yes.
Like you would look like trying to think you'd have the look like you'd have a big bushy full one. You'd look like
I
Al
just wanna know what to
Habrasi.
Oh, can you spin it? Would you be able to spin it?
I have no
like
idea. I've
Dick
not,
Dastardly?
I've not got that far.
Gary
but
McCord.
I wouldn't hold it past me.
All right, speaking of hair, I booked a hair appointment, and hair appointments for women are more expensive than men, obviously, so it's a little pricey. But I looked at the email that I got as a confirmation, and they said, we require 72 hours cancellation, or you're charged 50% of what your appointment would cost. And so here's my statement. 72 hours of a requirement for cancellation is too long. All right, so it should be 24, it should be 50, or whatever like that. So, Alan, fact or cap?
I'll go fact. And if you said, I kind of more, it seems like 24 hours seems to be kind of, if you go to a restaurant, something like that, some of them will require your credit card. You got to put a credit. It's 24 hours. Most things are 24 hours. That seems to be the standard. Now, I don't know this business, and maybe they tried 24 hours, it didn't work. Then they tried 48. Here they're at 72. But 24 hours seems like, hey, something just popped up. I got something going on. 24 hours seems like the right amount of time.
Yeah, and like 50% of a haircut would probably be like $80.
About $400.
It's not like a small thing. All right, Trev?
I'm with Al on this one. I have a couple of, because I don't get my hair cut the way that ladies do. How often do you get your hair done?
Like once a year, maybe twice a year.
Okay.
I haven't got my haircut since last June.
Is it hard to get an appointment?
No.
Okay. So here's the thing.
Well, it depends on the artist or salon person.
If it's not hard to get the appointment, then 72 hours is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? It's ridiculous. It should be a day. But if it's, like I know the woman that Susan goes to, she has this booked out months in advance.
Yeah, certain people are different ways.
And to get in there is difficult to do. So that situation, sure. But if you're doing it once a year and it's not hard to get an appointment, that's insane.
Yeah, not a fan. All right, Berg?
Yeah, it's fact, because I like the lead up too, because I make my appointments for my hair probably about a week in advance, and by the time
rub it in, bro.
Yeah. You used to have that problem.
Yeah.
We've seen the pictures, but you have
You mean the ones where he looked like he was 60 and now he looks like he's 30?
Right.
It's so funny
totally
that you
changed
say that.
everything.
I don't see that at all.
Oh my gosh,
it's true.
Does he not look older with hair?
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
You're much better with how you are.
You take 30 years off, like shaving your
Is
head.
anybody like that?
You are.
But I like the lead up. I like being able to have that 24 hours, because like something might pop up that I want to be able to cancel.
72 hours is a lot.
It's too much. It's too long. It needs to be. 24 hours is the right amount.
Spirit Airlines probably has like 3 weeks cancellation.
How's that going, by the way?
Or they charge you triple.
Yeah, you still wasting your time?
I sent the email.
Oh yeah,
I
good.
sent
And
the
now
email
you're
to the
done.
CEO.
So you're gonna lose.
I'm not done.
Okay. He's
Taylor?
not calling, so he's done.
Yeah, fact. It's too long, but it's genius on the part of the hairstylist, because I mean they get
They get their 50%,
half a haircut,
and then they're going to get you again.
They're going to get somebody else.
Yeah, or they don't have to work, and they get 50% of it, too. So today is the anniversary of when The Last Dance premiered. So it's 3 years ago today that the first episode of The Last Dance came out. So I was thinking about all the different stories that came out around The Last Dance and how cool it was, especially for me, who I didn't really know much about the story of the Bulls. So the 48-hour Las Vegas trip from Dennis Rodman is the best story to come out of The Last Dance. Travis, fact or cap?
Cap. And maybe I'm the wrong person to ask, because I did remember this. I was working when all of this stuff was going down, or at least a good chunk of it was going down, so I covered it. I still think that the best stories about Michael Jordan are the ones, or the Jordan Bulls, were the ones involved where he was fighting his teammates, right? I thought the one where he fought Steve Kerr, and I remember, oddly enough, I mentioned Tolbert the other day. He told us that story shortly after it had happened, that Kerr got into this fight with Jordan. It was fascinating at the time. It's fascinating now that Michael was not just tough as in you would get the ball again, but if you weren't practicing hard, he would literally fight you. That's pretty remarkable. That Dennis Rodman was a lunatic was expected.
So it's Cap because, again, I knew that story also, it's a fantastic story, really, really cool story. I thought the most interesting thing, though, was that he made things up just to give himself motivation. And I took that personally and all that kind of stuff. Like, he made it up in his mind to be able to do the things that he did. So I thought that was exactly.
Fact for me. I didn't know all the details of the Dennis Rodman story, and I didn't need to know the details. The part I just found so fascinating was Phil Jackson trying to sell Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen why we need to let Dennis go to Las Vegas. Like, the concept of let him go do what he's going to do there. It's actually good for the team. Right. Like the basketball gods that we were talking about with Shaq and Phil Jackson. The strategy of this is part of our game plan. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. How we're going to play defense. We're going to do this. Rodman's going to Vegas for 2 days, and then he's going to come back. I still find it fascinating. I love that story.
Taylor?
I'll go Cap. I don't know. I liked all the just, I guess, humanizing MJ and then almost seeing that he's not human at the same time, just the way he reacts to certain things and how petty he is. Him laughing at Isaiah Thomas, too. That was pretty good.
That was good.
That was good.
That was good. That no one carries a grudge like that guy. That's why he is who he is, and that's also got to be a really hard way to live, to never, ever let something go. That's heavy. That is a heavy, heavy thing. Lakers game 2 tonight in Memphis against the Grizz. What could go wrong? It's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
On tap today thanks to Michelob Ultra. Coming up at 1 p.m., Mason and Andy Kamenetsky count you down to the Toyota Lakers countdown to tip-off at 3 p.m. with Sliwa. Then at 4:30, John Ireland, Michael Thompson have all your play-by-play live from Memphis. Game 2 of Round 1. Lakers Grizzlies as the Lakers go for that 2-0 series lead. Let's get it as that push to banner 18 is on. Right now, more of Travis and Sliwa, your Wednesday on 710.
Ask Taylor was pretty good today.
Really good.
I like the music ones. So how much would I have to pay you to not eat but just come and play at my barbecue? Got some friends I'd like to invite over in the next couple of weeks.
Taylor, you get an hour off, man. What are you going to go eat?
I will.
As you're making your tacos.
Just give me like an hourly, and we'll see what
Entertain
we can
me.
work out.
Yeah. No.
Unbelievable.
I don't know. Is it 100? Is it 50?
Taylor's
What is
driving
it?
to a
Discuss it off
drive-thru.
air. We'll talk about this later, Trav.
Okay. Because I like listening to you play. I've seen you a couple of times. I enjoy that a great deal. But
those shows are free to come
You should
to.
go play for free.
Come to the South Bay.
You should go play for free at his neighbor's and play till 2 a.m. with like a mic, just trying to hype up the crowd. There isn't even anybody there. It doesn't matter.
Trying to
Live from the storage unit.
They're gone, thank goodness. Now there's a whole other thing going on. I won't get into that too much right now. You said something yesterday that with the Lakers being up 1-0, and with Ja Morant either not playing at all because of an injury or being injury hobbled with that hand, if he does play, being far less effective than the best version of Ja, probably. That how do the Grizzlies find a way to win 4 games? And I think there is a way, but I don't think there are a lot of ways. And I think that the way that is the most likely scenario is a series of really close games that depend on the Lakers executing at the end of very close games, and they can't. Because while they've won some close games, it's not because of what they did particularly well. It's just because it kind of broke their way, right? You go back to that Philly game. You go back to the, was it New Orleans early in the season? You go
Had
back
a couple
to
against
Dallas,
the Mavs.
right?
Yep.
You go back to Minnesota in the play-in. They're not very good at that. And not that they can't do it the next time it comes up, but to me, Memphis needs to make these games a 1 or 2 possession game with a minute or 2 to go and have the Lakers go nuts the way they have in most of their close games this season as far as execution is concerned.
So I'm gonna give you the latest one. And I don't know if it's fair because Memphis can now prepare for this one. Game 1, Lakers had a 1-point lead with 3 minutes left to go in the game, and they went on a 15-0 run. But it's not fair because Ja Morant also left with 4 minutes left to go.
Yeah.
So now you get actually a chance to prepare for, okay, he's not going to be in the game, and this is what we have, rather than it's shock value of, did Ja Morant just run out the court and go to the locker room? I don't know how much I have a concern of that right now. And part of it has to do with who's on the other side, which is Memphis. You're right. If Memphis can make it close, you make it interesting. But you know who's not on the other side? Hypothetically, if they're playing the Clippers, I'm more concerned. If they're playing the Warriors, I'm more concerned. If they're playing KD and the Phoenix Suns, I'm more concerned. I think just because of what happened to Memphis, that
Utah's not very good. Minnesota's not very good, and they struggled at the end of those games too.
Okay,
and not because of anything people are doing to them, what they do to themselves.
Yeah.
This is not Memphis does something to them. It's that they
Lakers screwing it up.
Slips through their fingers because they, I don't know, foul a 3-point shooter with 1.5 seconds to go. I don't know, throw the ball out of bounds on a set play coming in.
Sure.
Things like that. That's not something anybody did to them. That's not Damian Lillard pulling up from 35 feet and knocking down a bomb.
That's themselves shooting themselves in the foot.
That's what I'm getting at. Not the opponent. I'm talking about it's close and they go nuts and they foul the guy, throw the ball out of bounds, take a bad shot, don't run a play. Like these are all things that they've done at the end of games.
Do you know the term of that in key? It's kind of choking away a loss. Is that what you're saying? Is that there's a concern in some shape, way, or form that you come to the end of the games? Maybe now it's a little bit tighter. Maybe it's, why is this a 1-point game? Why is it a 3-point game? Why is it a 1-possession game? Why are we down by a bucket when Ja Morant didn't play in this game?
And it comes down to executing your game plan, offensively or defensively, with 30 seconds to go. Can you do that? Like offensively, I'll go back to the plan. Their offensive execution on the air quote last play of the game, great. LeBron gets the ball in the right wing. He attacks the bucket. He can shoot. He can pass. He can do. And he found.
He gets
in a
to make
shooter,
the decision. He makes the right decision.
And I'm 100% comfortable with LeBron James making that decision. He's LeBron James. He's going to make the right decision 99 times out of 100. I'm good. Schroeder made the shot. It all worked out. It's that other thing on the other end. It's the one before that. Like, can we put together 2 or 3 plays where all right, maybe it goes in, maybe it doesn't, but at least they ran the right play. At least they made the right decision. That's what I'm talking about.
No, it's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, the Dallas is a perfect example, and Minnesota's a good example because they've had breakdowns at the end of games where
Philly too, right?
Philly, but it was the only reason why I don't
Missed
count
free
some
throws and then a foul on a 3-point
Here's
shot.
the only problem I have with some of the stuff earlier on. The roster is so different. You're not wrong that LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Darvin Ham are still there, but there's the roster's just been churned over, so it's not. I don't feel like it's apples to apples. But I could go after trade deadline and point out some of the stuff that you're talking about. So it certainly has been an issue at some times.
Ja doesn't play tonight, right? I know that we won't know until we know, but usually there's a, hey, you know what? Don't be surprised if he comes out. I'm not saying he's going to play.
Nothing has given an indication.
Yeah.
Nothing has given an indication. Let me ask you this. If they win tonight, does it go back to Memphis?
Or are you talking about who wins
I'm talking about Lakers win tonight. Does it go back to Memphis?
Yeah, I think probably.
You still think they get a game?
Yeah, I do. The sweeps in the NBA are pretty rare.
Mm-hmm.
They don't happen a lot.
Be disappointing.
Look, if they win in 5, I don't know how disappointing that is. Even if they win in 6, I don't even know how disappointing that is. If they win and advance, what you don't want is a 7-game war where there's an overtime game or 2 in there. But if you said to me right now they're going to win in 6 games, I'd sign up for it on the spot.
Okay, so here's the only issue with the season or the series getting prolonged. They've got so fortunate where they had 4 days off before they got to game 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get 2 full days off before they get to game 2. 2 full days off before they get to game 3. After Saturday, you're going Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and now it's travel. Now you're going Memphis, back, this, that. They've got very fortunate that the schedule has been this for them. They've also got very fortunate because Memphis is not whole by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Doesn't Ja get, you assume, let's say Ja doesn't go tonight like you just mentioned. It's not that he broke something. It's pain tolerance right now in his hand. Maybe gets a couple extra days. Okay, he's feeling a little bit better. The longer it goes, I think the more it benefits the Memphis Grizzlies.
They're going to do everything that they have. Their Lakers are going to get tonight. That Memphis is going to throw their best punch. Whatever metaphor you want to use for this, they're going to do everything they can to win tonight. Because if they don't, they're not going to win the series. If the Lakers go 2-up with both of those games in Memphis, the Lakers are going to, whether it's in 4, 5, 6, or what, they're
it's
going
just
to
a matter of time.
It's a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis wins tonight, and you're in a fight. You're in a fight.
I don't disagree.
Because Ja will come back at some point. To your point, he didn't break his hand. It hurts. We've all had sprains and things. It hurts less on day 2 than it did on day 1, less on day 3 than on day 2, and they have access to the best doctors and medicines and everything. He's going to play. He's a bad man. He's a dangerous dude. Don't let this thing get any more competitive than it needs to be. I know that it's far more important for the Memphis Grizzlies tonight than it is for the Lakers. It's a big game for the because they can kind of put a lid on it tonight. Or now it's like one of these things. And I got to fight this guy. Like before, I could have gotten out of this without really having to fight, and now I have to fight him.
Listen,
and it's important for rest and for
all
time
of it.
off. And for all that stuff.
If Memphis goes back to LA and it's 1-1, they can sell themselves on. Wait a minute, Ja was out for the final 4 minutes. That's why we lost game 1. They can sell themselves. Usually you try to go get a split at home or you get a split on the road. This is Memphis now. We just want to split at home. Can we just prolong this series in any way? It would be, listen, this is on the Lakers. It'd be incredibly disappointing if they're not up 2-0. And it has more to do with, it's not just about the Lakers, it's just what's available for the Memphis Grizzlies.
All right, so the Clippers alive, or did they blow their chance last night? They had another lead that was pretty good. Kawhi was great. Is that one over too? That's next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Here we go. Travis Rogers, Alan Sliwa. Travis and Sliwa is on for your Wednesday. We're here each weekday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We begin 9 hours of LA sports talk all day long. Yes, indeed, it is a Lakers Game Day Wednesday. Here we go. What's on tap today? Thanks to our friends at Michelob Ultra. Well, Travis Lee are right here, right now, live and local to get you ready. Mason and Andy Kamenetsky at 1 p.m., and they walk you up to coverage. The Toyota Lakers countdown to tip-off at 3 p.m. with Sliwa. Tip-off at 4:30. From Memphis, Game 2, Lakers Grizzlies. Lakers have a 1-0 series lead. Let's get that next one today, boys. We gonna get you set all day long right here. Your Lakers playoff station, 710 ESPN. Let's get it rolling. Travis and Sliwa, your Wednesday right now.
Yeah. So did you pack a lunch, a sleeping bag, an overnight bag? Like what? You're basically here all day. We started at 10. You got to hear before that.
Yep.
The Laker game will end 7:30 something, give or take, somewhere in there. So you got a 2.5, 3 hour post game show. It gets you to like 10 or 11.
I have a suitcase in my car.
Yeah, good.
I'm going to change.
Sleep in the back seat. Just snuggle in back there. And
not a bad idea. Basically camping in the LA Live parking lot.
We'll have some Pizza Hut later because of the big New Yorker, so that's going to be awesome for the big playoff game.
Let's go. Let's do it. I mean, I'm certainly on board with that. It's noon. It's when a lot of people eat lunch. I'm ready to go.
I think, know your answer, so I'm not going to ask you.
Okay,
I'm going to focus on this side over here.
It out.
When you just look at the clock and it's noon, do you just automatically get hungry because you looked at the clock, or are you actually talking to your body and saying, am I hungry or not?
I don't think so. I'm working on this show. I guess I've kind of gotten adjusted to not eating during this time. So
I
dinner time, breakfast. Yeah. I kind of look at the clock and I'm supposed to be hungry. And then all of a sudden I'm hungry.
If I see food, I'm going to eat it, whether I'm hungry or not, or like. So I don't know. I think I would have survived well in like the Middle Ages when food wasn't necessarily terribly abundant.
Yeah.
Because at that point you had to eat when there was food.
Yep.
And you couldn't think, well, I'll just wait for a few hours and I'll just eat something later when I'm getting hungry. You need to get it in because that rabbit may run away at that point. You got to catch it. You got to eat it right then.
What's the saying? Eat to live, live to eat.
Yeah, I'm the second thing. Yeah, for sure. I don't look at it as well. I got to fuel my body. No, I want to have a nice time. I want to enjoy myself. I want to savor.
If it's the equivalent of your car, it's like 3/4 full, and you go right back to filling it up.
That's about right. Yeah, I'll take that.
Just put more gas in here. No. It's the tank is full. There's no more room.
That sounds
right. Let it overflow.
A couple of quick tweets here. This a lot of people don't like that I don't like cats, but I am who I am, and I'm going to stick with it. James writes, Trav, you're a lot more cat than dog personality-wise if you think about it. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Maybe.
But you can't have two alphas in one room.
Yeah, you don't want to. You can try to take the magnets, right?
Interesting.
And you take like the two positive ends of the magnet, you push them, and they won't go together.
Yeah.
It's the negative and the positive, and they go bing.
Okay,
they snap together. But I don't need two positives.
But here's a good example. You say if the neighbor comes outside, he wants to come talk to you.
Uh-huh.
The neighbor would technically be like a certain type of dog that's always excited to see people, wants to say hello.
Dogs don't talk, Al.
If it had a cat personality, it would say nothing to you.
I would love a neighborhood of cat neighbors.
I know you would.
If it was just all cats around, like they kept their lawns nice and neat.
You don't even know if they're home.
Took their trash cans out right after the truck went by. We'll get those behind the gate again. Let's get that tidy, nice and neat right after the fact. But as far as animals, I want the affection. I want when Bobby's girlfriend comes over, Sarah. Love Sarah. Sarah has a dog named Buddy. Mm-hmm. I think I sent you the picture with
you did.
Buddy was
one time just randomly.
Buddy comes over occasionally. Love it when Buddy's in the house. Buddy will sit right next to me, and I get to pet Buddy. Doesn't say a word. And the second I'm done, Buddy moves along. It's terrific. Who doesn't want that? And then I've never had to feed Buddy. I've never had to clean up after Buddy. It's terrific.
You don't give Buddy a few scraps? Eating something?
It's not. I don't do that. It's not my dog. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if that's okay to do or not. So I choose that. Buddy looks like he's well fed. I don't think Buddy's going hungry. Plus less for me. That's how that's going to go. Clippers lost last night in Phoenix. KD really good. Booker really good. And I think once Monty Williams comes to the conclusion, and this is super inside basketball. I don't mean to bore people with like strategic things, but getting the ball to Kevin Durant and Devin Booker seems like a good idea. That's just me. I don't know. Like, just give it to them and let everything else happen as it happens. They did that. They won the game. 1-1 coming back to L.A. I think Phoenix wins the series. I feel comfortable saying that, but I will say, when the series started, I thought that the Suns were going to win that series comfortably. 4, 5, 6 games somewhere, but never really think the Clippers had a chance to win the series. I don't feel that way anymore. The Clippers looked that they won game 1 and that Kawhi was as good as he was again yesterday. I'm not so sure he can't steal 3 games, maybe 4 games, that you don't get a crazy Terrence Mann performance or Norman Powell or Russ has another really impactful game. He was better last night. Didn't quite impact the game the way that he did in game 1, but that does not feel like a foregone conclusion the way that it did before the series started.
Yeah, I mean, just put it as simple as this. Hey, before the series started, are the Clippers tied 1 apiece or is Phoenix up 2-0? Yeah, Phoenix is up 2-0. What can the Clippers do when they're back at home?
How many chances out of 10 did you give the Clippers to win that series before it started?
2 at the most.
At the most. Yeah. I was going to say 1, right? I was going to say 1. Now it feels like it's 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
I still think the Suns are going to win, but it went from maybe if something really crazy, bizarre happens to, oh, right, Kawhi is that good. Kawhi was doing things like, they didn't have an answer for him. They were throwing everything they had at him, and they couldn't stop him.
It's funny you say that about Kawhi. You're not wrong. The guy played, 50 games this year, and we haven't seen him in this playoff run. It's been a while since we've seen it.
Years.
Okay, so I get that portion of it. For me, I wasn't worried about what Kawhi was going to do. I was just worried that, do they have other players? They got incredible depth, but most of those guys are supposed to be role players, supposed to be PG, and it's supposed to be Kawhi. For them to take a game in Phoenix, I'm actually not shocked at all that it goes back to Phoenix and we got a 2-2 series. So now it's not a best of 7 who's going to win 4. It's the next team to win 2. And the longer a series goes that you don't have a team that, let's say, is favored or you're missing one of your key guys, anything can happen in a game or 2. I look at the Clippers now where you said how many chances out of 10. I agree. I still think the Suns are going to win the series. But Phoenix was also, it's a 4-point game in the fourth quarter yesterday against the Clippers with a chance for them to fall 0-2. Clippers were still in that game.
Booker and Kevin Durant were really good last night. They both played huge minutes. They both played way over 40 minutes in that game.
Torrey Craig hit 5 threes. Chris Paul had 16 points. As in, a lot of guys contributed.
That's what I mean. This isn't just that KD couldn't make a shot or Devin Booker got him fouled. It wasn't any of these things. Those guys were really good, and it was still tight. That's good news for the Clippers. And Kawhi is. It's been a while, but there's an underlying thing that I think is bad for the NBA. Let's say Kawhi wins this series. Let's say the Clippers win this series. Is that not a green light for every other team in the NBA to play their best players less? I think and I'm speaking for me, the reason that I'd kind of like, Kawhi, whatever, right? I just haven't seen him play enough in the last 2 or 3 years because
to know what you're going to.
He's the face of load management. He's had a couple of bad injuries that he missed all of last season, basically. I don't know. I'd forgotten how impactful of a player he is. What if I could tell you, look, Anthony Davis is going to play 50 games. Not because he gets hurt a lot. We're just going to play him 50 games. So when we get to round 1, he's ready to go. What if they did it with Giannis and Embiid and Luka and Lillard and all of these guys that are the best players in the league? We're just saying, putting a great product on the floor doesn't matter until we get into April.
I think if we're not already there, we're getting close. Where I think there's already franchises telling their stars, take a second. Now it's okay. Don't play this one. Don't play in the back-to-backs. I think we're already getting to that point. And
you don't think it would get worse?
I think even if the Clippers don't beat the Phoenix Suns, but they make it a series, I still think it's very interesting that the strategy of playing Kawhi less or playing your star less, they just came out with some of these new rules for winning some of these awards and MVPs and everything else, the 65-game threshold. I think we both agree. It's not just 65 games, 20 minutes minimum. There's some details in there. I think we both agree that there's going to be certain players that no matter what threshold you put, I'm trying to win a championship. And because they're trying to win a championship, that I don't think it's going to motivate them to play more.
What if it comes down to that the reason the Suns win, the game was in Phoenix? What if it comes down to the reason Sacramento wins their game is because they're in Sacramento? home court advantage. What if you change the rules a little bit to incentivize the home team instead of it being
That's
4-3? It's 5-2.
That's different.
That's how you got to get the home court needs to matter. Seeding needs to matter. The awards thing, I'm with you 100%. If Giannis never wins another MVP,
you need a real disadvantage for not playing.
Yes, and not having home games is a disadvantage. If home teams can win, LeBron James probably doesn't care. The Lakers might care if they get a bunch of fewer home games. That's a
Warriors were one of the worst road teams in the NBA.
Too. Just getting people through the gates and the parking and the hot dogs and the beers and everything else. What if instead of 4-3 we go 5-2 to really disincentivize this? Look, I don't care what my seating is. I can win anywhere else. A, the winning gets harder if I got to go into your place 5 times instead of 4. And B, I don't get the gate. The big reason that these things expand and everybody likes expanded playoffs, not only they're fun, I get a couple more games where I don't have – there's no TV deals that I have to pay extra on. This is just all gravy that comes in off the top. These are big deals for teams.
Yeah, the part about what if the Golden State Warriors end up losing the series because they didn't have home court –
the Suns too
could very well
win the series.
But the only thing with the Suns in Game 7, then we're still going to say, well, if Paul George was there, that's the only problem with the Clippers Sun series is that PG isn't there, so they're missing one of their key guys. But I think the Warriors one is an interesting one. I think that we did this 1, 2, and 3. Remember we said the first, second, and the third best teams in the Western Conference. If I told you take this draw of 1, 2, 3, or take 4, 5, 6, this is before the playoffs started. Yeah. We leaned towards 4, 5, 6, but it had more to do with the individual players than it did.
It's the players, and the other part of it too is I just feel you have to your regular season has to mean something. It has to. You can't just tell me, hey, none of this matters until we get to April.
It's why the March Madness bothers the hell out of us. It's like, okay, well, what's the point of the regular season?
I like baseball because I like the long, slow stories that kind of develop through 162 games. But baseball season is so long, but you kind of start to, okay, who's pitching well? The bullpen, is they in or they're out? You kind of need to know these things because they tend to bear out in the playoffs. The NBA is LeBron and AD and all these. They could just look, I'm gonna take some time, and when I hit the gas, I'm gonna be ready to go. Then what did I spend 6 months watching? Well, there has to be some value in that regular season.
The in-season tournament.
Yeah, right.
I do have an idea for the in-season tournament, and I think we're bearing the lead here. Chris Paul beat Scott Foster, guys.
Yeah.
Chris Paul beat Scott Foster. It's a big win for him.
Win 16 more in a row, and you're 500.
There was an account. I mentioned this to you before the show started. There's an account. Whoever created it, it's basically Scott Foster on Twitter, and it's got his picture of Scott Foster. And basically says, he tags Chris Paul and says, "May the best man win tonight." And it's like 60,000 likes, and Twitter has to put on there, "This is not Scott Foster, please. This is not really Scott Foster."
I also like the edits of Scott Foster and his highlights calling things against Chris Paul. It's amazing.
I know I'm on an island on this one. I know I am, and I know that the Suns won last night. And
I don't think you're on an island.
That we laugh at this is not okay. It's just
maybe you're on an island.
It's a very online thing. It's fine.
It's not fine. There's an open thing that there's a referee that has such an egregious agenda against one of the faces of the league.
Scott Foster wants it more.
It's just that's not
gotta have
okay.
passion.
It's not okay. Is it funny?
I know.
Yeah, it's amusing in that it's amusing. But the
Not
whole
good.
point of this
It's
league
not
is
good.
I don't know what's going to happen. Only when he's involved, we got a pretty damn good idea what's going to happen.
NBA script?
NBA
Scripts.
what?
Scripts.
Script.
Do you know how they go at the end of the game? In college, they do this more where they just line up and they congratulate each other.
saw this.
You think Scott Foster gets in the line for the Suns and goes, or for the Clippers and
Wait,
goes
did you see
by?
Chris Paul and Kawhi in
Yeah,
that line
was.
too?
I saw that live yesterday too.
Yeah, it
And
was.
Did they chirp
odd.
each other?
No, they just bumped shoulders and almost. Yeah, it looked like almost deliberate both bump shoulders.
I didn't see it, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm on Kawhi's side.
Oh, I'm on Kawhi's side.
I'm on Kawhi's side because Chris Paul that's exactly something that he would do. I'm surprised he didn't hit him in the groin.
So I agree that he would do that, but we're talking Kawhi did not. Sometimes you see somebody walking towards you, and you kind of move a little bit. Kawhi's like, "No, I'm literally not moving. I'm going right through you."
If you told me Kawhi's like, I didn't see him, and
he probably didn't see
I
him.
would believe Kawhi, right? Kawhi said, I didn't even know there were any people in the gym last night. I would believe Kawhi. Okay? Chris Paul, like I said, I didn't see it. Chris Paul's fault. 100%. I'm sticking with it. All right, the Rams, they got rid of Allen Robinson yesterday, Slee.
Yep.
They have half of their roster available to be filled out between now and the start of training camp. I think we know what they're doing now. That's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710.
A Lakers game day Wednesday. What is on tap today thanks to Michelob Ultra? Coming up at 1 p.m., Mason and Andy Kamenetsky count you down to the Toyota Lakers countdown to tip-off at 3 p.m. with Sliwa. Then at 4:30, John Ireland, Michael Thompson have all your play-by-play live from Memphis. Game 2 of round 1. Lakers Grizzlies as the Lakers go for that 2-0 series lead. Let's get it as that push to banner 18 is on. Right now, more of Travis and Sliwa, your Wednesday on 710.
So I think I told you this at the end of spring training, maybe a game or two into the regular season, that I was considering James Outman as my new favorite Dodger player. Yeah. Still considering, but we're getting closer to me making that decision. Just saying that he just got in the box against a deadlock cinch Hall of Famer and Max Scherzer and squared one up right away. Nice hard hit. And just that's pretty comfortable. For a guy that's been in the major leagues for 4 seconds to see Max Scherzer and just go, what? Bang. It's pretty good.
Isn't that something? And it maybe has something to do with you kind of see this in sports where it's like he's too young to know what's going on, or he's inexperienced and it might work to his advantage. Mm-hmm. That's a good example for him, where it's
He's really
just
good.
Look, there's certain guys that just look like baseball players. The dude looks like a baseball player. But up here, yeah, like you mentioned, you were saying in the break, he doesn't know what's going on yet.
It's all new. It's all new. And he knows Max Scherzer is really good, but it's like I've seen good pitchers before. You didn't see anything like that before. I mean, it's
impressive.
That guy's going to walk straight into the Hall of Fame and should. And just looking that good is very, very impressive. People really want you to play your music at a barbecue that may or may not ever happen at my house. Here's another one. It says Trav is going to pay you $500 to play at the barbecue.
Now we're talking.
But here comes the but. He stipulates that you must learn how to play Take Me Out to the Ball Game on a pipe organ that he's renting so he can sing along to open up the barbecue. He also wants you to dress up as Fernando. Do you take the gig?
As Fernando, okay. So I gotta wear some Dodger gear.
Well, then you got to negotiate one thing in. You get to bring your cat.
I bring my cat.
I'm okay with the cat.
And
I'll sign off on that.
I need a couple take-home plates as well, I think, from the taco guy.
Okay.
You okay with that, Trav?
You sure?
All right. I think the negotiations are
He's in.
Okay,
they're about done.
Do you know how to play the pipe organ?
I can play. Yeah, I can play that.
You can.
Wow. Figure it out.
Okay. But if I put you
can
in
play
front of an
one
organ-
song.
Okay.
it's gonna
Today,
be Take
you and
Me Out
I
to the
go
Ball
to
Game.
like a local church or a ballpark. We find a pipe organ, and you sit down. You'd have
same as a keyboard.
Show
same
me
as
what you
piano.
got.
So yeah, I can play you 4 chords.
Okay.
But if I have time to learn, Take Me Out to the Ball Game for that price for some tacos, I'm in. Come on.
Well, keep in mind, this is Christopher's proposition, not mine. We'll see what it is. I don't know if I need you dressed as Fernando. That feels odd. that feels, I don't know. I'm not a big cosplay guy, so
taking
even
it too
for
far.
You. Yeah,
Okay.
We'll see. We'll figure it out. Bill Shaken, who covers the Dodgers for the Times, said Dodgers, Al.
Yep.
What I'm going
Okay.
for.
Yep.
Thank you. Dodgers with a D. The Dodgers have activated infielder Yanni Hernandez and placed Miguel Rojas on the injured list with a left hamstring strain. I don't know if he strained his hamstring trying to hit 900 feet home runs like Aaron Judge, but he has a hamstring strain. And this is what I wanted to see. Yanni Hernandez is their Oklahoma City shortstop. Luke Williams is their Oklahoma City shortstop who's playing shortstop for the Dodgers today. This is why you have the minor leagues. This is why this goes this way. Not so Mookie Betts can fulfill an adult fantasy camp.
Well,
and
it's
play
fine
shortstop.
right now until Mookie comes back. Then Mookie will get back into short where he belongs. Yeah,
Mookie should catch.
I read
not?
I read a couple tweets. People were saying that, they don't think Mookie is being selfish, that it's because guys are injured is why he would play that position. They're trying to make a case. No. This is a specific circumstance based upon the injuries that
I'm
they
not
have.
suggesting that they're going to play him there every day as their shortstop. I understand that there are extenuating. So Taylor is hurt, Rojas is hurt. But this is why Luke Williams is on the team, to fill in this situation. He is your utility. He can play 7 positions. He plays all 4 infield positions. He can play all 3 outfield positions. That's why you have a guy like him in your organization to – all 3 of our shortstops, Lux is down, Taylor is down, Rojas is down. All right, that's why we have Luke Williams on the team. That's why we have a AAA affiliate. That's why we have a AA affiliate. In the event that in game you have no options, he goes over there. Sure. This is not what this is. It just seems like such an unneeded idea.
The argument that people were making was you have better outfielders than you do infielders, so you can put Outman out there, Hayward out there, Peralta out there, Trace out there, as in you can rotate different guys out there.
Why would I take my best player and play him somewhere other than his best position?
Why is the best player then asking to play that position?
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I think he's putting Dave Roberts in a tough spot by asking him.
He is. It is a weird thing that they are entertaining. And look, again, he's not going to play 50 games at shortstop. He probably won't play any because they got some other guys. But who's your best player? If you asked 100 Dodger fans, who's the best player on the Dodgers, you're going to get 60 Mookies and 40 Freddies. Okay, that's how it's going to break down, right? Let's move him. Why? Why? Because he wants to? It just bothers me. That and Miguel Rojas swinging like he's Mike Trout.
Those are the 2 things you've walked away with so far this year.
Ow.
No, I get it.
He's slugging like 160. Watch this. It's like, what are we doing?
It's BP
Stop
out there for him,
that.
except that he can't hit the ball.
Except for he's not making contact with
hit
the ball. It is a mess. The Rams have 45 empty roster spots. It's not an exaggeration. That's how many they have. They have 45 spots on their roster filled. You get 90 for training camp, which means between now and the start of training camp, through the draft and free agent acquisitions and however else they want to go about it, they got to find 45 guys to round out their roster. We've talked about this. What are they going to do? Are they setting up for the future? Are they going to go for it? Are they in no man's land? We're doing this wrong. They're telling us what they're going to do. They're just not saying what they're going to do. Their actions have been every single player other than Kupp, Stafford, and Donald is gone or coming off of an injury or a guy that you don't know his name on site. They are very clearly getting ready for McVay 2.0. That when he reboots this thing again, whether it's the middle of this year or next year, they have half a team. Half.
The biggest concern, not even concern, I think a lot of question marks around Sean McVay was, hey, does this guy want to be around? The last 2 years, the question going into the offseason was, is Sean McVay coming back or not? And one of the questions or one of the reasons was this guy doesn't want to go through a rebuild, right? He's already won X amount of playoff games. He's already been a part of 2 Super Bowls.
That was our assumption.
That was our assumption. And then I think once he decided to come back this year, their actions are telling you that he's okay with a rebuild.
I think so.
Right? That no, we know to get back to where we want to get to. Sometimes you can say, you know what, let's just slap some more paint on this. Yeah, let's, as best as we can, maybe if we remodel the kitchen, then people are going to pay less attention to that. The foundation, we have real issues with the foundation, right?
The marble rolls across the floor for no reason.
That's probably not a good thing. It's probably not a good thing.
It's fine. Get new blinds.
What they have decided, which is not easy, I think, in sports, because it's very, very. What are you looking at over there? What's going back there? Because you have a
Stephanie over there with
a direct
lot
shot
of pizza boxes.
You have a direct shot to the pizza.
Looks interesting.
Yeah. Don't worry, Taylor just stood up so you can
Kate.
see.
Hi, Steph. How you doing? Make sure I'll be there in 5 minutes. They're looking, just making sure they know
you're
going to
be there sooner than 5.
Oh yeah, maybe.
You'll be there sooner
maybe.
than 5.
No, look, you think Sean McVay would, if the Rams at the end of the season, when it looked like he was leaving, that the Rams gave him some space to decide whatever. And by the way, there were reports out there that they basically told him, take as long as you want, take a year if you need to, that we'll do something whether that's true or not, but I did see that out there. That he decided quickly, as it turns out, it was a week or two, to come back. And then they said, oh, by the way, we're going to trade away all the guys you've ever heard of. No, he's in on this, right? And not in on it on like a conspiratorial way. He's in on the idea of, listen, we had a great 6-year run. In my first 6 years as an NFL head coach, we have a Super Bowl championship, a second Super Bowl appearance, multiple division titles, 1 bad season. That's a damn good 6-year window. To get ready for the next 6-year window, we're probably going to have to take a step back here in this next season. We're going to have to move Allen Robinson and Jalen Ramsey and Leonard Floyd and basically everybody not named Stafford, Kupp, or Donald.
I'm a fan of that.
I think he gets that.
I'm a fan of that because it's the only way you could have had an honest conversation in the offseason because you're not selling McVay on, no, guys, we got all the pieces. McVay knows. So McVay is also buying in. And McVay is also buying into the idea and the concept that, all right, this season's probably not going to go as planned, but we're going to start taking steps going in the right direction.
There are smaller boxes in there, too. I can't tell if those are like personal
here's
pizzas
my,
or wings.
Like
or
right now,
there's some stuff. There's smaller boxes, too.
You know how you talked about when you're driving with Susan sometimes, and occasionally she'll scare the living hell out of you, right, just out of nowhere. And your heart probably starts jumping. I feel like the more people that go towards the kitchen, you're calculating all these things in your mind right now. Okay, what's the damage here?
You ever see A Beautiful Mind? Right.
Oh, yeah.
Russell Crowe. I see the whole board before it's even happened. I know all the moves.
Or Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover.
That's probably a better reference.
That's a good one.
You're right. That's probably a better way, and I can see that little dotted chalk line and exactly the route that I'm going to take. Your Padres, you say they can't score any runs. I got some help on the way, and Dodgers need to start winning games because the Padres are going to start.
Are they?
Looking good right now, though.
Yes. I'm going to make you feel better. That's coming up. It's Travis Lee, 710.
Week on 710 ESPN.
It is time. Last year was our inaugural version of the 710 Mandy Awards. We've got our second one coming up. When is it?
So those little boxes were the Pizza Hut melts, which I had not had the pleasure of having until about 4 minutes ago. Pretty big fan, Slee. Cheesy,
Which one'd you do?
Crispy, loaded, $6.99. 4 mouth-watering recipes, including meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, chicken, bacon, parmesan,
and buffalo chicken.
I had the pepperoni.
Mm-hmm.
Picture a big slice of pizza.
Yep.
Fold it in half, but
still crispy.
Crisped up a little bit on the edges, right? And still nice and gooey and warm.
Who's saying
and
no
hot.
to that?
Alrighty then. Marinara thing.
Who's
on the
saying
side,
no
dip
to
into
that? Yeah, you look like you're doing some work right there.
I ate half of one of these, and so that's basically like 2 slices of pizza. It's pretty good. Not a bad way to do it. And there's a million pizzas over there, so I'm gonna go sample the pizzas next.
Well, this is what will happen since I'm gonna be here a little bit late tonight. I'm gonna be around for a little bit. Yeah, might have to hide a box in one of the offices where nobody's looking. You know what I mean? And I just go back end of the first quarter. Al, first quarter's over. Why don't you go grab yourself a slice?
Just put it in that. Oh no, the social guys are back there. I was gonna say you could put it back in your Lakers studio.
No, I can't trust them.
You put it on the floor of my office.
I'm already looking at DeAndre right now. He's like, yeah, bring it back here.
Yeah, I'll watch that for you. I don't know what happened to it. Don't trust DeAndre. He takes bad pictures of people and he eats your pizza.
There's sauce on your chin.
Lindsay
Don't
isn't
tell
here
me you
today,
didn't
I
have
don't
any.
think. So you can put some stuff in my office.
It was all veggie pizza. You wouldn't even have liked it. No, that's what I wanted. How dare you?
Yeah, who wants veggie pizza?
Looks good,
though?
smells good. Taylor's
not my
busy over
first
there.
choice.
Taylor doing some damage.
Veggie pizza's pretty good.
Veggie
Al.
pizza, no problem.
No problem. At all.
No problem.
Not my first choice. But if you said, "Hey, let's
not my second choice, not my fourth choice,
and artichoke, whatever you want to throw on, let's
no
go."
problem.
Of course,
I'm with you. No problem. Can I just get some sausage on the veggie pizza?
Yeah, but you know when they put the slice of tomato on there, that's not bad.
A little juice comes a
Yeah,
little.
It gets nice and hot.
Yeah.
I'm not see if there's any veggie pizzas over there. Talk myself into this.
Pizza Hut hooking it up today.
Pretty good. Thank you to the folks at Pizza Hut. Another little Ask Taylor. This is more administrative. Taylor, this is from our pal Duvel.
Taylor's not ready right now.
I'm ready. What's up?
Duvel wants to know, he says, I don't know if you guys asked Taylor already, but I really wanted to know which fiddle is better out there between these two, the DZ Strad or the Carlo Lamberti.
I'm assuming those are both electrics. I don't have experience with
either.
either
They're both
of those.
electrics.
Yeah, I play a Fender FV1 electric and a NS Design electric 5 strings.
There you go, Duvel.
So those are my recommendations.
So you do not have an opinion on Taylor. Maybe you do, Slee. DZ Strad or Carlo Lamberti.
Yeah, DZ Strad is kind of known in the industry as more of like the offshoot. It's not the one that nobody really uses that one.
Yeah, it's
no one really used that one.
Hot take.
You want a very specific sound with that DZ Strat.
Yeah,
but Carlo Lamberti is really it's kind of your go-to for all of the things that you're looking to create.
Do you want a Spalding basketball or do you want just
always Wilson
or a Target brand?
Spalding's the official one now, right? Or is it
I don't
Wilson?
know. They've jumped around.
I feel like Wilson was the one for when I was a kid.
They've jumped around.
Now. Remember when they changed it for no reason and everybody came back like, this is tearing our fingertips off. What are we doing with this?
Okay, if there's one thing that I will give them, they at least changed it back.
In a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks, and they're like, our basketball players that basically make the entire product, they don't like the product that we're giving them.
Let's do the other
Let's do the other one.
We got to have a few old ones lying around. break one of those out.
Guys, Vans is a partner now. You're going to wear Vans now for every basketball game.
I'd be all right with that. You can play pickleball in Vans. I found that out. That was a pretty good deal.
Probably shouldn't play pickleball in Vans.
I have a trophy that says otherwise.
Up for debate.
Right?
Yeah, where's yours?
I did not play. So,
well, maybe if you would have had Vans on, you would have been able to go dominate. I'm just saying, Slee. Vans
dominate
won us
is
some
a strong word.
Where's your trophy?
I don't have one. I don't have a trophy.
Slee, where do you keep yours?
You could take mine. It's right there. We can borrow it back and forth.
You see, you don't get to throw stones if you don't participate.
But you also, if you don't stretch, if you don't do all these things, you can complain that your muscles hurt.
You win a trophy? Is that what I hear? If you don't stretch and you wear Vans, you win best pickleball team? That's all I'm hearing. What do you mean? Which part's wrong?
You should throw his trophy, Emily. Throw it.
Yeah, I'm understanding Ireland a lot more now.
Mine is in a very, very prestigious place in the home that I don't even want to tell anybody in case that burglars come.
Right.
I would hate for them to get it.
The picture of your family is behind it. You actually cannot see.
It's used to prop it up. It's used as a support staff for the whole thing.
It takes up the picture, but you've scooted it to where only you of your family can be seen. it's you and the trophy.
You just gave me a great idea.
Yeah. Bobby would love that.
No, he could be listening. He'd be in on it. I may just kind of as a gag one day.
And just see if she notices?
No, I'm going to go around to all of the family pictures in the house and put things in front of them so I'm the only one that's visible. I wonder how. I think she'd notice like the very same day, but if I could get into a second or third day,
can you hold like a straight
great.
face? Like I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll forget I do it the second I'm done with it, and then it'll only come up to me again when she mentions it.
Yeah, there are people on like TikTok that have been like replaced their like family photos on like the wall and replaced just one of them like with Danny DeVito instead of like their family members.
That's awesome.
And people don't understand at all.
That's good.
I think I'm just going to find other plants and cups and things to position around family photos where it's just me.
Why is there a sandwich covering half of my family?
Yeah, a McDonald's bag. She'd notice that. I got to be a little more creative in how I do it. Fernando Tatis comes back for the Pods tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
He's been crushing minor league pitching.
Did you see some? I know it's minor league, but did you see some of those numbers? He had like 7 home runs in
5 games.
Just something stupid.
He's just tearing the cover off
the
ball. The Padres are going to be 100% fine. If you're running out, and Tatis is going to bat leadoff for him.
Mm-hmm.
If you go Tatis, Soto, Machado, Bogarts, Cronenworth in some order there, and that's probably what it'll be, those guys are going to hit. They're going to score runs. And I'm really curious to see what it looks like once he comes back because they just have a better lineup than the Dodgers. They're off to a slow start. Again, I'm not worried about any of those guys, but it's actually working out the best way it could for him because when he went down last year, Padres kind of took off.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to say they didn't miss him, but they didn't miss him. They went to the NLCS unexpectedly. They were really good. They played as a team. They had a little bounce. They had that thing that good teams have. And he's over there serving a suspension because he got ringworm. They're a little flat right now that he could come back in with that little life that he provides, that spark, and obviously the talent. I think that the timing's just about right for him to rejoin the team.
So they've lost, and I get what you're saying, that they'll probably be fine when the dust settles. There's a little panic. I know we're in April. They've lost 6 of 7.
Panic?
They're 8-11 to start the year.
Yeah, panic?
It's just a little surprising that.
Sure.
Okay, let me give you this. This is their offensive stats, and this is maybe where the Tatis thing comes in because I'm seeing a lot of this on Twitter. Can't wait for Thursday. Can't wait for Tatis to come back. It's like, wait a minute. They played as good as they did last year, and Tatis didn't play one game. Now all of a sudden he's going to be the savior after you go out, have a good offseason. Soto gets another opportunity, kind of a little bit more time. This is the runs so far for the Padres. I'm going to point out a couple of games. In the 6 of 7 that they've lost, they scored 2 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs, 0-0-1. They had one game on Saturday where they put up 10.
That's the one I saw. They look good. They look pretty good that day.
They put up 10.
Yeah.
But I just found it so ironic. But I think it's something that you're saying that maybe you know what they lack right now? They lack a spark, a sense of urgency. Yeah. Like they're just kind of, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. And I think there's a little bit of that. It is interesting that it's lining up to where Tatis is going to come back at a time where they're struggling. And if just hypothetically they start playing some better baseball and Tatis is there, and Tatis gets a couple of jacks and all of a sudden there's maybe a little bit of swagger to the team that wasn't there, he will be in a weird way credited for waking up the Padres a little bit. Whether that happens or not, it's just ironic. They've lost 6 of 7 and he's coming back.
You know baseball is my favorite sport, right?
Yeah.
The reason I love it is one of the reasons I love it as much as I do is because it doesn't make any sense. It's just it's kind of stupid that things can be going so bad like they are for the Padres right now, and one little thing changes the mix, and now everything's better. It's so baseball where Tatis is going to come in there hitting off guys that are minor leaguers, but because he's hot as a pistol, he comes in, and every pitch that everybody throws him, whether it's a major leaguer, looks like a beach ball coming in. He couldn't miss it if he wants to. He's going to square up a couple of balls, and everyone else will be like, oh, right, this isn't as hard as we're making it out to be. And Soto will go off, and Machado will go off. That just his presence and his hot. If he came in and everyone was cranking along, it is what it is. He's got to reacclimate to it. But that they're cold and he's hot, you put him in the mix, it could change in a day. And just having one hot guy, everybody changes.
Do you think he comes back in 3 months, do you think there's still a lot of conversation of everywhere he goes, he's hated this, that? Or do you think it's, guys...
It's not that...
It's not the Astros. It's not something like that.
The performance-enhancing drug scarlet letter is not a big deal in baseball because we had an entire era that was that, and I still think a lot of people assume that it's still going on to a large degree. He just happened to be very sloppy about how he did it. I don't think it's, he'll get a little... Right, that's just what it is. But this isn't you defrauded the game. He did what a lot of other guys have done and gone, got me. Okay, I'll stop doing that or get better stuff. I don't think that.
Yeah, I was curious about that because I think in San Diego, it's an interesting time for him. Either he's going to play well, he's going to deliver, or he's just.
I believe it's an interesting time with him in San Diego for other reasons. We'll put that into the leavings when we come back. That's coming up next. The Dump. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. If you get hurt in an accident,
Time for the dump.
So not only are those melts over their sleeve, there are wings. I just saw Emily come in back there, and she's got a couple of wings on her plate.
Just need a couple wings, couple melts. Not
and
asking
there's
for
pizzas,
much.
and there's wings, and there's the big New Yorker, and there's melts. So just whatever. You're here all day. You should sample everything.
And there's the Pizza Hut post-game show.
There you go.
So this all kind of works together.
Just for, what's it called? Not symbiosis. What's the thing? I can't think of the word.
Synchronized. Something like that.
It'll come to me in a second. You should eat pizza while you're doing the Pizza Hut post-game show.
That's pretty easy to do. I could do that.
So what were we? You were talking about Tatis,
yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. The reason that I think that it's interesting him coming back is if he doesn't stay hot, if it doesn't work, if he doesn't like playing the outfield, if he becomes the fourth or fifth best player on the team, and he was not only the face of the Padres, Al, he was arguably one of the young faces of the whole league.
Yep.
And now he's the fourth most important player on his own team. How he responds to that, I think, is the most interesting part.
Okay, there's a game at Dodger Stadium, and Tatis comes up to lead off the game. He's going to get boos.
Yeah.
Machado comes up after. Who gets more boos?
Machado.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And the only reason why I asked that question is because
Machado played for the Dodgers and they have hard feelings.
100%. But the PED thing that we're talking about, that will have less weight than just the relationship that the Dodgers have with Machado.
I don't want to say I don't care about that, but I'm really close to not caring. Because I don't know who's doing what. And I'm not going to be the guy, I just assume everybody's doing it clean. I do the opposite. You know, I don't know.
It's funny what you said is he might have been sloppy.
He was sloppy.
Compared to other people.
He was sloppy. Mm-hmm. Look, the whole 90s they were doing this. The early part of there were guys that weren't sloppy at all. There were other guys. You got to be sloppy to get caught with this stuff. You got to be super sloppy to get caught more than once. So I just assumed that this was a clerical error more than it was he was the only one doing it. That could just be me. Speaking of baseball, Yankees and Angels have a series going on right now. Angels manager Phil Nevin was asked by one of the New York papers about whether or not he would do well outside of the Orange County team that he has played for. Quote, the best way I could put it is that he would thrive anywhere. Even with the off-field stuff, the endorsements, he'd be fine. It's not going to bother him whether he's in a big market or small market. Seeing him on that kind of stage like we expect to be on now wouldn't affect him at all. So I'm assuming the question was, how would he fare in a market like New York where every single day they're asking him a million questions?
Yeah.
Or wherever. First of all, he's going to be making $60 million a year. There's going to be questions everywhere he goes. Tell me if this is wrong.
Okay.
I really do think the money's going to be there, right? The money's going to be right. So that's a given. The only thing that matters on his decision is where can I go and win or have a chance to win.
Yep.
And almost right away, from the day that I show up, do we have a chance to do this? He's been through 6 years of, hey, no, wait, we're on our way. He's done waiting. The money plus win in the short term, we're talking like 3 or 4 teams. There's not 30 teams that are going to be bidding on this guy. There's like 4. Am I wrong about that?
No, I'm trying to think, too, because I also don't think – I don't know if the market is going to dictate whether he wants to go to that team or not. I think the team –
I agree.
And I think the market is just icing on the cake. So let's use the Dodgers as an example. Dodgers have shown we know what we're doing. We're in the mix every single year.
Yep.
But they're not starting their pitch with – this is Los Angeles. No. Look how big the market is. You know how much more money you can make in endorsements. That would be a poor sales job.
The opening set is we've been in the playoffs 10 years in a row. We've won the division 9 of the last 10 years. We have the same executive. We have the same manager. That's the pitch.
Can I get you a cup of coffee?
Right.
And then that's how this thing starts. Where do you remember when Dwight Howard was trying to make a decision? Or no, actually, it was LaMarcus Aldridge.
Okay.
And remember that they got a chance to sit in the meeting with him.
When they asked for the do-over, that one? That one? Is that the one you're talking about?
That's the one I'm asking about. That one was not about – LaMarcus Aldridge walked away and was like, guys, we didn't talk anything about the basketball. Yeah. What's it going to look like? Are we good? Are we not good? How are we going to compete? You're trying to sell me movies and endorsements and everything else. That's unnecessary in a pitch like this for
we're on
Shohei.
the same page. Give me the list of teams that have the we're stocked up, we're ready to go, and can afford him.
Okay, so here's you can afford him.
There's 4 or 5.
Okay, so if I said that the San Francisco market is a great market, Okay, yes. The problem is, are they ready to win right now?
No,
they're not.
They're not.
Okay,
I
so
agree. Strike them off the list.
all right. Can the and I'm trying to avoid the two. I'm trying to avoid the two
answer
or
is
the
yes to
couple.
Seattle.
The Mariners
Yes.
could be a team where you could say we can afford you. It's we're competing right now. We have really good players that are on this team. That's an interesting one. I would
agree.
put to the
I
side.
think they're on the list.
Okay. And then the other ones just have to be. I think it's both New York teams, and I think it's the Dodgers. What's another one that?
There's one more. It's Padres.
I was going to say the only thing that gets me with the Padres.
Padres need to
Can
be good
they
this year.
afford? I know what they're paying, but what are they going to do with Soto? Can you, on top of that, afford Shohei Ohtani?
I want to talk about that tomorrow. Can you afford both of those guys? I can't imagine you can have 6 guys making $400 million. That just doesn't seem like something that anybody can do. So you might have to pick one or the other. But if the Padres are really good this year, you can look. We figured it out.
Make a
We
case.
cracked the code.
Yeah.
We're on the West Coast. That seems to be a big part of it.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think there's this is not a bidding war between 10 teams. It's a bidding war between 4 or 5. I really, truly believe that. Trey Lance may or may not be on the trade block, according to Ian Rappaport. San Francisco has been fielding calls about a potential trade for Lance. Rappaport's Wednesday morning reporting does not mention any teams with interest and notes that no trade is imminent, but the Niners have made it clear that Brock Purdy is the likely starter when he's healthy that teams have acquired about Lance. This is a weird deal.
Okay.
Trey Lance has really never played in the
know.
NFL. Not because he's been bad, but because he hasn't had an opportunity or he hasn't
When he
been
did,
healthy.
he got injured.
He was the 3rd pick in the draft. Okay? And like we talked about the other day, sometimes you miss on a pick, but he was the 3rd pick in the draft for a reason. Brock Purdy was literally the last pick in the draft. Had one good year, and it was good. And I don't think it's a fugazi. You were really going to cut bait on the 3rd pick in the draft who you don't even know is good or not for the last pick in the draft? Really? That seems wildly risky to me.
Safe to say, I think the 49ers front office, John Lynch, they've done a good job these last couple of years. And they've been incredibly competitive. Could part of it be, no, we've seen enough of Trey Lance.
Could be.
That his value is still high. What can we get for Trey Lance?
That's the whole other question, right? What do you give up for a guy that's never played? I don't know if he's good or not. He might be. He might be a bum.
All you need is one team
In fairness,
to say,
who the hell are they going to play quarterback if not Trey Lance?
Purdy.
Purdy says he thinks he's out for the year.
Darnold.
You're going to go with Darnold.
Darnold's their backup, it looks like, going forward.
Oh, God.
Darnold is their second
Seriously,
option.
You got to go Trey Lance. This is where you take the training wheels off Trey Lance.
well, that's when you also find out, is he something or is he not?
Yeah.
But okay, to your point, though, Slee,
Sure.
what if he's not, and now I get nothing for him?
But,
At least
I know who Sam Darnold is.
I can at least door number 2 you with Trey Lance at this point, can't I?
Well, yeah, you may be able to pull the wool over somebody's eye. Or he's great.
And if there's
We don't
one,
know.
and
as
if,
you said, he's never had a
played.
chance.
and if there's one franchise who's been able to be successful with average quarterbacks,
Yep.
it's the
because
49ers
everything
these
else
last
is
couple
good.
years.
They got everything else
I'm
going
sure
on.
the Sam Darnold experiment is getting ready to take off any minute. He
Yeah.
just needs
Oh,
the
God.
right
I hope
place.
so.
Put
I want to see that.
I really did root for the guy. I
Oh,
thought
me
he was going to
too.
be pretty good, and
Nope,
so
wrong.
far
USC quarterbacks.
Not true.
Not a good run.
Super crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Andy Kamenetsky in for Ireland today, who's getting ready to call the Grizz and the Lakers coming up. Slee's got to work all day. He's
Yeah, I know.
basically here
Slee's got a
all
long day.
Yeah.
Long day for the Slee.
Just going to Morales has a setup back there in his office,
Oh,
full
does he?
setup. So
Sleeping bag.
yeah, he's told me, he's like, Al, just jump on in
Pullman
there.
heater.
Yep.
The
He's
problem
got
is
the
you
whole
have
thing.
to share the sleeping bag with Morales.
Oh.
Gets cold.
That's
Gets
scary.
cold in
Doesn't
some
get
of
that
these.
cold.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm willing to have a
welcome
little
to
chill.
the freezing
It's
weather.
cold, but it's because he keeps the office at 30 degrees specifically to get you into the sleeping bag.
Speaking of, Morales in the studio right now.
And some
Chris?
would say, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chris.
Nearly 1 o'clock in the Southland. I know you guys were doing Super Crosstalk or whatever
we're
this
doing
is.
Super
Sir, it's
Crosstalk.
thrilling.
Bring down the room.
Do you immediately just come in and take shots?
Have you never
You're
met
gutless.
him before?
I've talked to Sedano twice this morning, and
Yeah.
he said, the minute you walk in, just shoot at Mace.
Oh, is that
And
what
what
he said?
Sedano says, I do.
I totally don't believe that. Shadano and I are on excellent terms right now after we got to do that show
You
this
guys had a
week.
powwow.
Yeah, no, we've reached.
Oh, you mean when he carried you?
We've
for the-
reached an accord. We've reached an accord.
Could you play some awards music for me, Producer Taylor? Because at 1 o'clock on Wednesday in the Southland, it is a final! Mandy Awards 2 is officially sold out, sucker!
Ah, yeah. Wow. Bam! Bam! Yeah. Just sudden convulsions from him.
They're gone.
They're gone.
You had your chances.
Do you want to feel the energy?
Don't
feel the energy, Mace!
Don't touch me. Do
Wait
not
for the
touch
color
me.
to come back in Chris's face.
Touching
you went
not cool.
pink, and now
You
you're back
really
to a
did-
normal
you
color.
really are. You really
Corporate Greg said, make this one really push hard.
You went.
Imagine it's
You
the
went
last
hard.
bam of your life. Because
Yeah.
that's how I want to go out.
Last bam of
I
your
want to
life.
go out on a live imaging Tuesday.
Oh.
That I just do a bam and that's it.
You know what? I can see the gravestone now.
And we go to
Just
black.
Bam.
Bam.
CMM, bam.
Bam.
And we
Bam.
just and that's like the
It
end
is
of
a final.
Like-
Well,
yeah.
You really have to put it as a final.
like
on
the
there.
end of The Sopranos. We just go to black.
Just go to black.
And then it's like the end of Success, or not the end, but then you just see somebody. There's a scene,
Chest
a video,
compressions, yeah.
You're FaceTiming Sedano,
Yeah.
and Travis is giving me chest compressions, and you're like, Sedano, I think
Just hold the phone to his ear, Mace. Just hold the phone.
Is
He
he
might be.
still
He
alive?
might
I
be able
don't
to hear
know.
me.
I
Just
don't
hold the
know.
phone to
Everybody
Morales'
say to
ear.
Chris in those last moments, phone
Bam!
in the
The
ear.
thing I love is he's clearly dead, and yet they're all talking on the phone to him.
and he's not listening.
He's
as
not
always.
listening.
He wasn't
Exactly.
listening when he
Because
was
they're not
alive.
serious
Why would he
people.
listen when he's dead?
Exactly.
But
Well, that's great news, man.
voting is still
Big time.
alive.
Okay.
ESPNLA.com. Vote on our favorite categories. Vote early, vote often if you can. And we're going to do this thing Saturday, June 10th. Now, don't forget, we mentioned it a little bit yesterday. We will have a pair of Mandy's tickets that we've set aside for our Cinco de Mayo fiesta.
Oh, nice.
May 5th at Solitas, right there in Anaheim, where the Hooters used to be. Cappy and I were in the parking lot there last night.
Oh, is that what were you doing in the parking
Well, this
lot?
music was playing, and we were talking about life. I gave you a lot yesterday, so
Yeah,
I'm going to
you
go.
did.
I got meetings and stuff.
all right, go to
Super
your- go to your
Crosstalk
meetings.
continues
Yes.
with Mason and the Homish Booker right
Yeah.
now.
Killing it. Killing it.
I thought for sure we were getting one more. I thought for sure.
There you go. It just honestly, he startled me right there. Oh yeah, I can only
No,
imagine.
thank you.
I actually
I'd really
choose-
rather not.
I choose not to imagine.
No, take a second to think about
Yeah,
it.
no.
Take
Don't
a,
leave it
take,
sleeping bag out.
take a
Yeah,
couple
let
minutes.
that one marinate.
Yeah. That is pretty good.
Well, we tried to
sold
tell
all those
everybody.
tickets.
We tried to
It
tell
went
everybody.
quick.
If you
It
didn't
went
go
quick.
last year, this was the year to go. But just stay tuned in, and we'll be giving away a pair at some point.
Absolutely. I was listening to one of the breaks, one of the promos for your guys' show was running. And Ireland was saying that Al and I do not do bits, that we do nice radio.
Nice radio.
Right. But that you defended us by
I
saying
did.
that we do
Thank
edgy
you.
radio.
You're edgy. You guys are edgy, right on the edge.
How do you
all
feel
the
with both
time.
of those characterizations?
Well, I think it was the Midwest or something like that. Like
Yeah,
it's like
no, we were talking about trading you to Milwaukee.
Yep.
Where they do nice radio. No, I don't think. Look, he was using nice radio as in a demeaning way, a pejorative way. It's like they do nice radio. He doesn't that attitude. And I'm
you,
like,
John.
no, they're edgy. They're edgy. I listen for the edge. I listen for the
Yeah, see,
cats.
this feels more pejorative than what Ireland said.
The I don't like cats. The what's up and what's not. The
That's not us.
who's what's up and what's not.
That's not
You're
not
thinking
us.
of 570.
Yeah.
They do
The
on
hey,
570.
what about the hey, look what happened?
No. Hey, did you see?
Hey, did
How
you
did
see?
you see?
Hey,
I
did you
knew I
see?
was close on that one.
That's
one's-
close.
You got
Very close.
You got one right,
Ask
and you
someone.
got one wrong.
It's ask someone.
Ask someone on
Yeah,
Wednesdays.
Sometimes you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes me, exactly.
Yeah.
Has Andy Kamenetsky ever been a
I
guest
don't
on
think you
Ask?
have you, Andy?
Ask
I-
A-Cam?
Oh, when you filled in.
I've done it when filling in, never off the clock, so to speak.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Next Wednesday.
put them on the list.
Anyway, I nice radio was pejorative. I think you guys have an edge, and that's
you,
what I
Steve.
listen for every day.
I've been called a lot of things.
Edgy?
Not edgy.
Not edgy.
No, I've never had edgy.
Yeah.
in the
I think you're
Travis
going to win,
description.
by the way, Mandy's. We're going to look at the ballot a little bit later on, but you're going to definitely win Amanda's favorite host.
Well,
of
we
the
know what
year.
happens to the favorite, right? The favorite doesn't always come in. Once in a blue moon.
Yeah, that's
Look,
right.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm not poo-pooing it. I would love to win it.
Because you're like the most low maintenance. Oh, actually, no, Slee, you're also
No,
low
I'm
maintenance.
lower maintenance than Al.
Okay, so who would be on the list of Amanda's if you're taking three?
Three.
Who would be the three that would be on her list?
Travis, Slee, and I don't think there is a third nominee.
Maybe this is why this award was created, Slee, that they needed a safety net to make sure that
we want to make sure
somebody in
you're
the
gonna
building
win
gets
something.
one.
You're going to win something this. You're going to win stuff.
We're gonna campaign.
Win ultimate.
We're gonna lobby for some things here. So
did it change your life?
You know, first of all, I did not win Host of the Year, so no.
I thought
it did not change.
Did it change your life the other way because you didn't win?
The show won, which was really important, and that meant something to me. And we gave that trophy to
Jorge. You said, yeah.
He's got that at home. That was really.
If you
important.
had a chance to go back and get one of the two, host of the year or show of the year,
You're not
and
really
that the
asking
microphones are off right now, and you're sitting
Microphones off?
by yourself, and you could be honest with yourself, which one would you rather have had?
Show of the year.
That's not true.
Yeah,
It's like
Strong
Ben
mix.
Affleck. I'm sure he was happy when Argo won Best Picture.
Yeah.
But he'd have been happier if he had won Best Director.
Yeah.
Right.
I
right.
can promise you he'd have been happier.
Yeah. No, show of the year, I think, is the most important award on the board.
I would, no question about that. That is the best picture.
I will
award,
openly
right?
campaign for that.
As will we. We're
Yeah.
going to do it. I would say I would love to get the Mandy, right, from Amanda. I think that would be a great one to
That
win.
would be.
The Man of the People one, I think I have a chance to do, too.
You absolutely do.
I think I have a chance at that one,
Who
too.
won it last year?
I think it was
Kaplan.
Cap.
Oh, no, you're much more
Kaplan.
man of the people. He's got like 6 shows. He's got the Cappy cast. He's commuting back and forth. He owns racehorses. He's not a man
I
of
like
the
to
people.
chug a few beers. I like to go to a Dodger game.
You
I
like
like
to eat
to
some
hang
tacos.
out.
And eat
I'll eat a taco.
Hit
I'll
the
eat out of a
food
truck.
trucks.
Pretty good man of the
You
people.
eat when they bring food in like Pizza Hut today. Nobody eats more of it.
Oh,
than
he's
you.
a man of the delivery people.
I'm a man of Uber Eats.
Man of the food sponsors.
He left in the middle of the show, just right at the gate.
I'd
Yeah,
never
he's
had
gone.
a Pizza Hut melt before. I wanted to make sure that I got it.
Yeah, the
while it was
melts
still-
look good.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Okay. Producer of the year. I'm going to vote for Emily on that.
You know,
Associate producer?
I have a slight lean towards Emily also.
Over Greg?
Over Greg.
Greg
yeah.
got some stuff.
Greg
last
says
year.
he doesn't want to win anything, so I'm going to take him at his word. I'm going to lean Emily.
Who wins funniest?
Who won it last year?
Michael.
Oh, Michael.
Yeah.
Probably repeat.
It's tough.
Goofy old man. Odd old dude. Plus, how many Mandy Awards does he have left in him?
So this is like a lifetime achievement.
Lifetime achievement award,
moment?
exactly.
All right, we can have Michael do that. Most knowledgeable, I believe, last year was Ireland.
John.
I'm going to stick with Ireland.
Yeah, I
Although
think it says John.
Shadana will have something to say about it.
Well, the big CY, I think, would like that one too.
Oh, yes, he would. Just ask him.
Yeah, that's why I think he would like that one.
Ireland won most knowledgeable?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Really?
Yeah.
Ireland is unbelievably knowledgeable. He knows, and by the way, not just about like about everything. Like, that's why he wins Game of Games all the time.
Yeah,
knowledgeable.
He's got a little bit. He's better at it than I am, but I know a few things about a lot of things.
Correct.
I don't know a lot about any one thing. He knows a lot about the Lakers and some other things.
You know
but
a lot of baseball.
I know some baseball stuff, but my knowledge, what is that phrase? It's a mile wide and an inch deep.
You know
right.
random stuff. Random stuff
If
come
it's
up.
from baseball cards or TV shows from the 70s and 80s, I'm your man.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anything beyond that, I don't have a ton.
Yeah. I'm
You guys
pretty good.
want,
Emily should really win most knowledgeable.
She's got
I don't know.
knowledge.
She watches every game, every TV show, every movie, every
Even the show
documentary.
she hates, she watches.
Yeah, I know. She hate watches things.
She
exactly.
yelled at
Emily
Netflix.
wants to have an opinion on quite literally everything.
Yeah. She has 14 roommates. They all do something stupid every day.
Well, I think they also all
9
give her-
sisters.
They give
They're
her
all
a
doing
rundown.
something weird.
All the roommates and sisters and family, they all give her rundowns of different TV shows and movies. So she just has something to say about all of them.
I've been trying to kind of just explain to her that there's a very liberating phrase in every. If you use it, who cares?
Oh,
right? When
yeah.
something comes up, it's just like, what do you think? I don't know. Who cares? It just
Yeah.
That is absolutely not in Emily's vocabulary.
She's
trying
not.
to help. I'm trying to lower the temperature a little bit.
No, I mean, don't even get near
You hit me with
Taylor
a who cares
Swift.
the other day. I forget what it was, Emily. You're like, who cares? What was it?
I didn't care enough to remember, so that's
there
where
you
we're
go.
sitting right now. No,
Excellent.
I'm fine. You know, I'm sitting back here on crosstalk. Maybe I'll come at you guys tomorrow. Don't worry.
Yeah,
about
but
it.
we didn't. I mean,
No,
that
we're
was all
complimenting you.
complimentary. That was
Yeah.
all positive.
Favorite personality? What are the chances that Chris wins that?
Pretty good.
You think so?
Bam!
Is this just been open lobbying by Chris to put himself in that run?
Well,
Every Tuesday is his audition for Personality of the Year. Yeah.
He's at the top of the list. He's number one.
By the way, why is he number one on the list?
Well, I'm trying to.
it's not alphabetical.
I'm
is it?
looking. I think it's literally in day part. It's so Al and I are at the top of these. You guys are always second. Sedano and Cap are always third,
got it.
and then everybody comes in after that, except for Key is at the bottom of some of these.
Interesting. That's just very strategic from Chris.
Chris is at
Puts
the top.
himself at the top.
Boss Amanda, and then it's just day
Key
part.
at the bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
It's
is
in
interesting.
day part. Yeah. Best signature event.
Yeah.
The Mandy Awards.
Oh, come
right?
on. The Mandy Awards is
Yeah.
the signature event.
Best athletic moment of the year.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anything
You are
without
very
Steve
welcome.
Mason? is that where that goes?
Now, I think, by the way, I think you guys have a shot to win Best Athletic Moment because does that not include your performance
It does.
in the
Here's-
pickleball round robin?
Yeah, here's the problem. The problem is
Right? It was a round robin,
He
wasn't
couldn't
it?
wait to get to the round robin.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, the bracketing was.
No,
suspect.
I'm not. I'm talking about the afterwards
Yeah.
where everybody plays everybody. You guys were the
It's
winners.
got to be Beto's walk.
I was going to say the
Beto's
problem is
walk-off
it's
is-
either
Does
Travis
Kirk
go deep?
Morrison,
Travis goes deep!
Kirk
be that.
Morrison's home runs or Beto's walk off.
Right.
But
Kirk
Kirk-
had 3 home runs. Beto had the game winner.
But Kirk's came in a losing effort. Our team,
That's
Beto's
right.
walk-off
Jerry
was
West
the difference
MVP.
there.
Yeah, that's right.
Doesn't
On a
happen
loss.
very
doesn't come
often.
from a losing
come.
team.
Doesn't
You're right.
happen very often. What else we got here? Best play-by-play: Ireland, Denholm, and Long.
Let's see.
Denholm.
I'm going to lean
Denholm
Ireland.
gets fired.
By the
Yeah,
way,
he does.
Denholm is great.
Yeah, he
Denholm's
does.
really good.
Denholm does a
gets
really good
fired
job. But
up.
that would be a huge upset if John
Denholm
doesn't
does
win.
the LAFC games like Morales does the Mandy announcements.
Yeah, he
he
does.
is at
But
that
you know what,
level.
though? Like, LAFC and soccer in general, they have a rabid following.
Yes.
That could give Denholm a major advantage. Like, the LAFC people may really want him to win.
LAFC had a great year, having a great year again.
are champions of the MLS Western Conference. They're going to the MLS Cup Final.
That bam. That's the only thing,
It
only
is
thing
a
missing
final.
at the end of that thing. What are you guys doing today?
So we're going to do a little. We're going to do a lot of Lakers.
You gonna bring Slee on? You should make him work for the next 2
Slee,
hours.
you want to?
I'm
We'll
on right
do
at 3.
moment
I'm
of
on
the
at 3.
game or whatever that is that they do. They make you
literally
do it
on
in the
again.
afternoon show.
Slee on the spot.
Slee on the spot, right? And isn't that right in the middle of your preparation for the game anyway?
So they'll do it's like 4:45 on basically home games or games that are 7 tip off, 7:30 tip off.
Right.
But we did it yesterday
Oh, you did do it,
because
yeah.
we weren't
sure.
going to do it today.
Sure. Now I'll say this: I actually am of the belief that Ja is going to play.
Why?
Because Trudell came on with us yesterday.
You got a guess past Bergman?
No, have you heard about this? Where you just call somebody on your phone and then you hold
Put
the
'em on
phone
speaker.
up to the microphone, and that's how we are able to book guests now. So Shadano brought Trudell on, and Trudell said his sense was I'm trying to paraphrase here. His sense was Ja's going to play.
So he went
and
my
they're
route.
playing a little. He did
With
he
the
did.
sense.
But
I like to give a sense of things.
Except he's right. Andy's like, I have a sense.
Pro sense?
That like sense means I don't really know at all, but I have a sense.
No, I'm reading tea leaves.
Tea leaves.
I'm
yes.
reading
What-
tea leaves.
what-
My
do you think he's
taste,
gonna play?
my
I do not
taste
think
is
he's
that he doesn't play.
Yeah, your taste exactly.
what about hearing when everybody's saying no? Are we discounting that part of it?
I think they're playing a little possum.
Okay, so the question is, they could be doing that.
Yep.
And you might get some version of John Morant.
Right.
That's not the best version of John Morant. Would you not be better off to just wait so he can get a little bit healthier?
So play Tyus Jones
for Saturday
This-
night. So you just try to put all your eggs in the Saturday basket.
This is. I mean, if you're down 2-0, what is it? 84%
and you lost
of the
both,
time
and you
lose.
lost both at home.
Yeah, you lost
That's
the
probably
two
the-
home.
Here's why I don't think he was playing possum. That means you were committing to the bit so much you sat out the remainder of game one.
Well, no, I understand the sudden shot. That's like Anthony Davis, my arm won't move, right? He was out the last couple of minutes of the first half and came back. This was Ja it was only 3 minutes left in the game or 4 minutes left in the game, I think, when Ja got hurt.
Right, but it was still winnable for them at that point.
Right,
but the pain could
sudden pain.
recede after a few days. The pain in the moment could have been, I can't do it, and then 2.5 days later, it's I can do it.
By the way, I much prefer the French pronunciation.
Jean Morin?
Jean Morin.
It's not a bad way to do it. Super Crosstalk is powered by In-N-Out Burger. That's what a hamburger is all about. Mason and Ireland coming up next.